storms that will interrupt play, but Rory McIlroy is underway, and he is the first pro out off of number 1. Sahith Theegala, the first pro out off of number 10 in today's Pro-Am. They are both underway with their groups to play the first 9 holes, and then, as you said, they will switch off, and another pro plays the other 9 with the amateur group. But the Pro-Am underway, and we are off and rolling, and all ready to go for a great week out here. And, of course, we always love being out here, and we always love our great sponsors for making that possible for us to be here, including Landers Ford. And Landers Ford has been providing cars for this golf tournament for many, many, many years. And you can, of course, take advantage of some great deals once the tournament wraps up. Those courtesy cars that the pros and other people use, well, they sell them at great pricing afterwards. And they only have a few miles on those, so you can get a great deal. Talk to the folks at Landers Ford. You can look at some Landers Ford cars that are out here and stuff. I saw some of those yesterday when I was out. But Landers Ford has been a part of this tournament for many, many years. Also, Sissy's Log Cabin, who will bring you scoreboards throughout the tournament the next couple of days. First National Bank, Jason's Deli, Wade Incorporated, your North Mississippi John Deere dealers, Ronnie Grisani's, Town Village Audubon Park, Banyan Tree Realtors, Wilson's Power Wash, DeSoto Honda, Jim's Place, Blue Cross Blue Shield of Tennessee, and Memphis Tourism and the Memphis Sports Council. We certainly appreciate all of their support for helping us bring you live coverage out here at TPC Southwind for the next few days.
No question about it. Big shout out to all our great sponsors. So the tee times came out yesterday for the first 2 rounds of the tournament, which again gets underway tomorrow as far as actual action is concerned. Today, of course, is the Pro-Am. And they will be going off in pairs, and they will all start at 1. Now, weather could change things. Hopefully it doesn't. I like the fact that, look, there are some people that miss the 150 players and even the 125. I love the fact you have the 70 best players on the PGA Tour. You have 8 of the top 10 in the world rankings, but you have essentially the best players that play the game of golf on this globe. And going off in pairs as opposed to threesomes, going off all on one makes it really easy for the spectators to follow along. And starting on Thursday, the first group from 1 to go off will be Justin Rose and Ben Griffin at 7:20. Now, probably the one pairing that will likely get a huge following would be the 2 best players in the world, and they have dominated this year, and that's Scottie Scheffler and Xander Schauffele. They will go off 12:45 on Thursday and then at 9:35 on Friday. But there are certainly other tandems that are of much interest to golf fans out there.
Oh, no doubt about it. You got Rory McIlroy playing with Colin Morikawa. That certainly will be a massive following. Folks that will want to watch Rory in action. Justin Thomas is playing with Brian Harmon. That Rory Colin Morikawa group, by the way, they go off at 9:45 tomorrow morning for round 1. They'll be at 12:45 on Friday. But you go down the list, a guy who I think is going to play pretty well here and has a chance to win, Tommy Fleetwood playing with Cameron Young, 8:30 tomorrow morning. Victor Hovland goes off at 10:30 tomorrow morning. He's playing with Eric Van Rooyen. You get Matt Fitzpatrick and Keegan Bradley, a couple of major winners. And Keegan Bradley, of course, the Ryder Cup captain for next year. They'll be at 11:10 tomorrow morning. A lot of people love Max Homa. He goes off at 11:20 tomorrow morning. Patrick Cantlay, who was in the playoff last year, he'll be going off with Ben On at 12:25 tomorrow. Jordan Spieth will be the next to last group of the day tomorrow. He will go off. He's playing with Mark Hubbard 1:05 tomorrow afternoon, as he will be the next to last group. The last group of the day will be Emiliano Grillo and Victor Perez, the guy who got in. Of course, Victor, those are the guys at 69 and 70 who got in. The last 2 in, they'll be the last 2 out tomorrow in round 1.
When you have the top 70, you don't have a bad pairing at all. A couple of those that you did not mention that I'm very interested in seeing. Aaron Rye coming off the win last week at the Wyndham, playing with Jason Day. That'll be a lot of fun. How about Russell Henley, just Mr. Consistent? You said yesterday that he may be the new ATM, take over for Matt Kuchar. Russell Henley and Tony Finau, the popular Tony Finau from Utah. And then even the Robert McIntyre-Sepp Straka tandem. They can hit it a mile. McIntyre's had a great year. So I'm just excited about it. You mentioned, I think you mentioned Will Zalatoris. Will Zalatoris still battling back from injury. It would be nice to see him play really, really well in Memphis, a former winner here in Memphis. Unfortunately, Lucas Glover is not here to defend. He did not make it into the top 70. You never know from year to year what may happen, but it is going to be an awful lot of fun. Victor Hovland, who has had what you would consider a down year, I would say, for Victor Hovland, and trying to figure out to get his game where it needs to be to once again compete for victories, was asked yesterday by the media about this course. He said, it's a genius golf course. There are not too many, if at all, any, that have issues with this course, and this is a course that has seen the most water balls year in and year out on the PGA Tour. But they love the course setup. They feel that it is a fair setup, that if you strike the ball well, you put it on the right side of the green where that pin is, as opposed to the other side where it may fall off or whatever the case may be. You're going to have a chance to score.
Well, you got to avoid the rough out here. This Bermuda rough swallows golf balls, and trying to judge how it comes out of there is impossible. But on the greens, these are not greens with a ton of undulation. There are some subtle breaks, but they are perfect. They are always perfect. And so you get a ball started on line, it's going to go in. And so it's a great golf course. It's not overly long. It's not one you can really necessarily overpower. You got to be accurate, and you've got to be in the fairways. And that's that's why guys like Will Zalatoris a couple of years ago able to win here, great ball striker. It's why it sets up well for Scottie Scheffler, who is obviously the best player in the world and playing the best golf of anybody. But Scottie Scheffler's track record here isn't that good. His best finish is 14th. And in the last 2 years, he's missed the cut in 2022 and was tied for 31st last year in 2023. Now, that Scottie Scheffler was not the same Scottie Scheffler that is showing up this year. This Scottie Scheffler is a little different, with 6 wins to his credit, coming off a gold medal at the Olympics. So maybe this year it suits him a lot more because he's just playing way better golf than he's ever been playing coming in here.
Now, one of the storylines, or at least what they are manufacturing as a storyline, both locally in the media and nationally, as I read a couple stories yesterday, is Schauffele and Scheffler battling during this FedEx Cup for Golfer of the Year, for Player of the Year. I think if Scheffler or Schauffele had won the gold and he had the early lead in Paris, then I think it would have come down to this. Now the fact that Scottie Scheffler comes from well behind to win the gold in Paris, to go along with his 6 elevated tournament victories, including the Masters, including the Players, I don't think he can be beaten for Player of the Year, even if Schauffele wins the FedEx Cup. But again, that is a storyline. I don't think it's created out of nowhere. It's certainly somewhat, but I think he sewed up the deal with the win in Paris. Do you agree?
Yes. I don't think he needed the win in Paris necessarily. I guess if Schauffele had won it, maybe an argument be made if he comes in here and won a couple of these and won the FedEx Cup. Schauffele does not have a great track record here either. He does have one top 10. He tied for 6th in 2020. But other than that, a tie for 52nd, a tie for 27th, a tie for 46th, a tie for 57th, and a tie for 24th. So the two guys who right now are the clear top 2 in the world do not have great track records on this golf course. But again, neither one, I think, has ever been playing the type of golf they've played this year coming in here. So, by the way, they both will be playing in the early wave here on the first 9 holes in the Pro-Am. Scottie Scheffler going off at 8:28 this morning. Xander Schauffele at 8:50. Those will be on the front off of tee number 1 as part of the Pro-Am. And again, they only play 9 holes, so if you're coming out today and you want to see those guys in action, you do want to get here early to be able to catch those guys in their part of the Pro-Am.
Now, we will have various guests from the tour that will be joining us from here at TPC Southwind. We'll also have some guests that are here that will be playing tomorrow out at Spring Creek Ranch in another fundraiser for St. Jude Children's Research Hospital. We spoke with Rick Shadiak on the show yesterday about that, and we have some guests planned as far as that's concerned. We'll also have a number of volunteers and their incredible stories, as once again, they are a major part of what this tournament is all about. And this is well before this tournament became associated with the FedEx Cup and became a playoff event. And that, again, is brought to you by Blue Cross Blue Shield of Tennessee. We will have, as you mentioned, scoreboard updates throughout the next few days, obviously when it gets going tomorrow, and that's brought to you by Sissy's Log Cabin.
By the way, it's probably today, maybe not so much, again, because we'll see what the rain does, and it's not because of the rain. It's supposed to keep it a little cooler and clouds and everything else. But over the next couple of days, it's going to get hot.
Yep.
Let's be honest. But here's the good thing. The hub where we broadcast from, right here at 18th and Main, along the 18th fairway.
How do you spell Maine, by the way?
That's M-A-N-E.
Okay.
Yep. It's and they've got the big gift shop right next door, and then you've got the hub, which is open to the public. The great thing about it, no matter how hot it gets out here, the hub, 35 degrees. So it's great. It's like a shock to the system to walk in here.
We are wearing light jackets right now.
Yeah, it is. They don't mess around
That's
in here
true.
with the air conditioner.
No.
It is something else. It's like polar bears could survive in this thing, I believe. I actually saw a penguin walk by earlier. And the good thing, too, is when you're in the hub, they've got a bar. That's great. Got to love that. But they've got AutoZone is here. They've got their little setup. They're going to give you a chance to win prizes. There's Capital Vacations. There's Southland Casino Hotel. There's Nike. There's, what's the other one down there? There's another vacation one. And these they got stuff for you to win prizes, do whatever you want. They all got little games set up for you to try and win. I love Southland Casino Hotel has a putting green that goes to a roulette wheel. So I assume I don't know if you have to call red or black and then try and putt the ball and hit it. I don't know, but it's awesome. I love that. I love the games. And so you can come on by here, cool down at any point in time, play some games, win some prizes, have some fun, enjoy a drink. And then again, right next door is the gift shop where you can go over there and check out that.
And guess what?
The Pronto Puck stand is right outside.
Distance.
So you've got everything you need right here in the hub along 18 fairway. But again, most importantly, probably, it is a place to absolutely cool down.
No question about it. It is. It's going to be fun. It's going to be a fun week. It's going to be, I would think, if the weather cooperates, probably be record-setting as far as attendance. Last year was incredible, the attendance we had. I think especially with what's happened this year with Scotty Scheffler, that people want to come out and see the best golfer in the world, but also fan favorites like Rory McIlroy and some other great stories as well. And, of course, we'll bring you wall-to-wall coverage all day long, today, tomorrow, and Friday right here from the hub at TPC Southwind. When we come back, we're going to talk some college football. I was over at Memphis Tigers football practice yesterday, and later, head coach Ryan Silverfield had some interesting things to say. We got other college football news that we will get into as well. Again, a reminder, you can always hit us up on the Sissy's Log Cabin listener lines by calling in or texting in at 901-360-8255. Another one of our terrific sponsors is All-Star Chevrolet in Olive Branch. All-Star's end of summer sale going on right now. You can come out there, test drive a couple of those vehicles, see what you like. If you can't find it there, you can't find it anywhere. 20 to 30 new Silverados on the lot, marked down as much as 12%. That'll save you thousands. Every Tahoe you could want for road trips and tailgating. Law enforcement, all first responders, healthcare, teachers, military, college students, and graduates get an extra $500 bonus. They have all the pre-owns, the Ram trucks, the Silverados, the Broncos, the 4Runners, the Audis, the Hyundais, the Palisades, much, much more. It's right there for you if you're looking for the pre-owns. Best week to get the most money on any vehicle you want to sell. Bring it to All-Star Chevy in Olive Branch today. Get a big check. So let's go. Don't miss out on All-Star Chevy's end of summer sale. It's going on right now in Olive Branch at All-Star Chevrolet. Or check them out online at allstarautogroup.com. You're tuned in to Sports 56 Mornings with Greg and Eli on Real Sports Talk, Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
Broadcasting from the Family Leisure Studio, we are Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
Wash your house and wash your office building? Impossible! Not if you call Wilson's Pro Wash. Your house, fence, driveway, warehouse, store, hotel, even cars and trucks can all be squeaky clean and beautiful after pressure washing by Wilson's Pro Wash. Wilson's specializes in cleaning all hard surfaces: concrete, stone, brick, and mortar, even wood and vinyl siding. Then Wilson's can seal their surfaces so they stay looking brand new. Call Wilson's Pro Wash, 901-524-6799, or online at wilsonsprowash.com.
If you're looking to play a private country club but only pay daily greens fees, then Meadowbrook Country Club in West Memphis, Arkansas is the place for you. At Meadowbrook Country Club in West Memphis, you can now play a beautiful, challenging course for only $59. Meadowbrook Country Club features champion Bermuda greens and is now available to everyone. A membership is $350 per month and includes tennis, pickleball, and swimming, plus a great restaurant and bar, all less than 15 minutes from downtown and midtown Memphis. Meadowbrook Golf Pro Mark can even fix you up with custom-made tricks on and Cleveland clubs. If golf isn't for you, try the social membership for only $250 a month. And there's 2 levels of all-inclusive junior memberships, 20 to 29 for $200 a month and 30 to 34 for $250 a month. Call for your tee time today at Meadowbrook Country Club, 870-394-4186. Now semi-private Tuesday through Sunday. Meadowbrook Country Club in West Memphis, 870-394-4186.
Do you know one of the best things you can do for your employees or family's health? Provide Arctic Clear bottled water. Arctic Clear bottled water is your locally owned and operated bottled water provider. Arctic Clear is 100% natural spring water with free delivery and setup, dependable service, and no long-term contracts. What an easy choice. Call Jeff Manus today, 901-382-2363, or visit arctic-clear.com. Arctic Clear bottled water. Call now, 382-2363. That's 382-2363.
They're taking care of beerness in Memphis right on the river with Grind City Brewing and all of their great products. Look, this was a dream come true for a father and son duo. And if you have not been to that brewery right on the river, just to the north of downtown, you're really missing something special. And now you can't miss their products. Wherever you go, you see a brand new label. It's clean, it's beautiful, it's distinctive. You'll know Grind City Brewing, and of course you know their products like Poppy's Pills, that great Pilsner, or Tiger Tail, that very creative craft malt liquor. There's the new Thaddeus Amber Lager. That is absolutely a great light beer. There's the India Pale called Godhopper. It's outstanding. And then there's the Belga, the Belgian-style wheat ale. They keep bringing hits at Grind City Brewing.
Listen each and every Sunday morning at 10 a.m. and join Ottawa Presbyterian Church for worship. Ottawa is an ACUSA church located in Memphis.
Sports 56 traffic.
Good morning. Still dodging a few rain showers out here in certain parts, especially north of Memphis. Be careful as it increases with that volume on 51 out of Millington, 40 East, trying to load up at times, coming across the Hernando de Soto Bridge, coming over from West Memphis. Weimer's Jewelry, 7525 Highway 64 is your full-service, family-owned jewelry store right here in Memphis. Go see them today. I'm Commander Chuck with your on-time traffic.
Welcome back, everyone. 7:22 the time. Sure, all these players out in the field have a dream of winning the FedEx Cup. The battle will begin tomorrow, but today it's all about the Pro-Am as we broadcast live from the hub at TPC Southwind. Our title sponsor is Landers Ford. Once again, we can't thank them enough for being a part of our golf coverage. Our scoreboard sponsor, Sissy's Log Cabin, and our other great sponsors, including First National Bank, Jason's Deli, Wade Incorporated, your North Mississippi John Deere dealer, Ronnie Grizzani's, Town Village Audubon Park, Banyan Tree Realtors, Wilson's Power Wash, DeSoto Honda, Jim's Place, Blue Cross Blue Shield of Tennessee, and Memphis Tourism and the Memphis Sports Council.
By the way, Rory McIlroy's team, who went off number 1 first, and Sahith Thagala's team, who went off number 10 first, both 1 under through 1.
How about that?
So there you go. Good on those teams.
So which amateurs carried Rory McIlroy and Sahith Thagala?
Probably whichever one lied the most about their handicap. If I had to guess, that's probably the way to go about that. By the way, here at the hub, I mentioned all the folks that they're here set up. They've got prizes that you can win. I love autos when they have the putting thing again. It's like putt golf. They've got a set of windshield wipers that you got to putt through to try and make the putt. So
I tried that last year. It was ugly. Let's just put it that way.
They've also got a little chipping thing here that you could win some prizes. But also, if you stop by and see us, say hello. We've got our registration box here. We are going to be giving away 4 tickets for the University of Memphis football game against Troy on September the 7th. So if you just stop on by, you can fill out a little entry form, drop it in the box, and have a chance to win 4 tickets for that game. You can stop by anytime today, tomorrow, or Friday throughout the day to drop your name in the box and have a chance to win those tickets. So 4 tickets for the Tigers and Troy that we will be giving away. We'll be drawing them on Monday after our coverage wraps up here Friday late afternoon.
So we're a little over 2.5 weeks before the Tigers opener against North Alabama. And while the west side is under construction, there is still the lower seats, the blue seats, the chairs, the chairbacks or whatever they call them, that are going to be used. I wonder if they're still trying to get all that cement and all the stuff that they have to get out of there, all the bricks and cylinders and everything, if that could mess that whole thing up.
No, I mean I think they'll have everything out of there by the time it's not going to have any effect on the seating for sure, but maybe there's still a little bit left there. But I'm assuming they'll have it all hauled away, and it'll be gone. There'll just be a giant hole in the side of the stadium,
and that's fine. You just don't want a little bit of the top still teetering when people are down at the bottom in the seats. I don't think that'll be the case. That was the whole goal, was phase 1 to be absolutely completed by kickoff opening day, and that would be the 31st, and then phase 2 would be worked on obviously during the course of the next 2 seasons, and then phase 3 started here hopefully sooner than later once they complete the fundraising. But yesterday I did go over to practice for the second time, and when that sun came out, because there was a little bit of cloud cover, yes, that's why I echo your sentiments that things will heat up this week. Of course, it's August in Memphis, with the exception of last week for about 3 or 4 days when God sent down some incredible weather for whatever reason, teased us a little bit for this week. We're going to hit the highs and the humidity that we normally hit in August. But when that sun came out, it was hot at practice, and I'm thinking, my gosh, I'm glad I'm not a player out there trying to practice in full pads. But when the sun ducked under or behind the clouds, it was really nice. It was actually very comfortable. So I'm hoping cloud cover could help a little bit. Now, with the rain, that means the higher humidity and all that stuff. But it actually got a little bit comfortable yesterday. Now, it didn't appear to be comfortable at all for Ryan Silverfield in the first scrimmage. I was not there for the first scrimmage. But in reading some stories from local journalists about what he had to say yesterday after practice about that first scrimmage, which I believe was Saturday last week, he was not at all pleased. First of all, he said, we have a ton that has to be fixed before the season opener. Now, every coach in the world would say, we got a lot to do. We got a long way to go. You're not going to say we're a finished product a week or 2 before the start of the season. But he said we have a ton that needs to be fixed. He said he was not happy with the first scrimmage because there were way too many penalties. In fact, at one point, he basically stopped the scrimmage. Now, Memphis, the last 5 seasons, but in particular the last 3, they've been one of the best in the country in limiting penalties. They are not a highly penalized team, which is certainly beneficial to winning games. And when he saw that in the scrimmage, I mean, he shut it down real quick, making sure he nips that in the bud before the season gets underway. You don't want to all of a sudden become this highly penalized team and have a chance to have a penalty cost you a game.
I always, coaches are awesome because, recruiting day, signing day, they love their recruiting class.
Sure.
Everybody, we did great. Awesome recruiting class. Then through the off season, I love this team. Love my team. Great. Love everything. We got potential to do everything we want to do. And then as soon as practice starts, oh God, we got so much stuff we got to fix. We are terrible. We are not ready to go for week 1 right now. We got to get stuff fixed. We got so much work we got to get done. My team is awful. My team is terrible. I don't know. It's just awful. It's all the same. They always go through the same routine every single year because you can never at this point in practice say that everything's great.
Right. You can't.
You can't give the team that message. Right. At this point in practice, you have to tell the team, you guys are terrible. We have to get way better by week 1. But during the whole offseason, I love you guys. You guys, this is our group. I wouldn't want to make one change with this roster. Love this roster. Get to practice. You guys are terrible. Why? What are you doing? What are you doing?
It's the one sport where a coach, I think, can say that and get away with it. I don't think you could do that with a basketball team, come out and just say, and this team is the worst. They have to do so many things better, to become a better. You never hear it with a basketball coach.
Basketball coaches do it too.
They don't do it like football.
In training camp, they'll 2 weeks before the season starts, when they start practice, they'll talk about, we got a long way to go. We got a lot of work to do to become the type of basketball team we want to be. It's a coach's thing. You'll never 2 weeks before your first game ever say you're in a good spot. Coaches never say that.
Yes, but here's the thing. With football, you're dealing with so many different players. The football mentality, in my opinion, they take it to heart. Okay, coach sees that we're not performing up to snuff. We got to be better. It seems like you're dealing with more fragile egos when it comes to basketball, baseball, other sports. I don't know that for sure, but I just think that you got to handle some of those guys with kid gloves, whereas with football, they're like dogs. They're always going to be loyal to you.
Like I don't doubt Ryan Silverfield at all that it was the penalties were committed and it may have been ugly. And chances are a first scrimmage, there's a good chance it probably isn't going to be real pretty when you're talking about a first scrimmage of the year. But even if there hadn't been a single penalty committed yesterday, he would have found something else that had been like, we got to correct this. This was all that's just the way coaches are. Every coach in America at every level is the same way. It's just funny how they go through the love process of the team immediately to, we got to get way better.
That's true. Other college football news, Sharon Moore announcing, the Michigan head coach, that former head coach Jim Harbaugh will no longer be the honorary captain for their August 31st opener against Fresno State. Now, that was a Harbaugh decision. Whether or not it was kind of a mutual thing with everything that's going on with Michigan, maybe it's not the time. But Harbaugh said, listen, I need to be with my team. I need to hunker down with the Chargers. But it's interesting that he accepted it at first. He was scheduled to do it. So when they asked, he said yes. And then all of a sudden now it's, I got to be with my team. But with everything going on with Michigan, probably not the best thing right now, especially who knows what will happen with Sharon Moore. He may get suspended for the first game or two, and if that's the case, but Harbaugh would be there, then he wouldn't be there. So it probably makes sense to keep Jim out there, or Jim to stay out there in Los Angeles.
I would guess, but this is probably stupid to guess with Michigan, but I would think that the school realized that's probably not the best optics. To have a guy who was just given a 4-year show cause out there as an honorary captain for your first game. His parents are going to do it now. Whatever. Michigan's bizarre.
Aren't they part of the coaching staff anyway?
And
they were last year.
And then Sharon Moore saying he looks forward to his text messages with Connor Stallions being released. Well, if you wanted them released so bad, why did you delete them originally? Michigan, I'm so tired of Michigan. Like, it's just their stuff. They
had their run. They got the last laugh last year. But do you
shouldn't have been allowed to do it?
But do you believe Michigan? Now, we talked a little bit about this yesterday when we were talking about the poll, the preseason poll, and that, what was it, one of the top 10 teams will drop completely out of the top 25. I don't think Michigan will drop out of the top 25, but out of the top 10, certainly I think there's that possibility. I just don't know how good they are. They lost their starting quarterback. They lost their head coach. Not that Moore isn't a capable coach. He is. But they lost other guys. They lost their star running back in Corum. I don't know how good they are.
I don't know how good they are. I do know that I will be rooting heavily against them all year. I hope they go 6-6 at best.
So why is it that you have a grudge against Michigan? It's not Canada. They're not quite Canada. They're close.
I just can't stand all the cheating and everything else, and just I just don't. I don't think they should have been allowed to win the championship last year. I'm tired of the stupid stuff that. Again, having Jim Harbaugh going to be the honorary captain, which was stupid. Then now he's not going to be the honorary captain. Sharon Moore saying, I can't wait for my text messages to be released. Well, you're the one that deleted them the day the report came out, so they can't be that great for you. If it's so, why'd you delete them? I'm so tired of Michigan. I might buy myself an Ohio State jersey this year.
Hey, my son-in-law will love you. He's one of the biggest Ohio State fans you'll see, so he'll say, jump on board, man, jump on board. By the way, if you're not cheating, you're not trying. Somebody once said that. If you're not cheating, you're not trying. ESPN has released its preseason All-America team, and their quarterback is Carson Beck from Georgia. Are you absolutely enamored with Carson Beck?
Yeah. I mean, I think he's really, really good.
He completed 72.4% of his passes last season. He was intercepted only 6 times in 417 pass attempts. That's pretty special. Dylan Gabriel, by the way, second-team quarterback.
Carson Beck's awesome. No doubt about it. He very well could be the first pick of the draft, all that stuff. Again, I still think if you're betting the leading passer with the odds we talked about the other day, I like Jackson Dart's odds better than Carson Beck because the value at 6-1 for a guy in that type of offense with the receiver options that Jackson Dart has, if I was betting the leading passer in the SEC based on those odds, I would take Jackson Dart for that.
Yeah, I agree with that. The preseason All-American first-team running backs, this is from ESPN, Ollie Gordon II from Oklahoma State, Marion Hampton from North Carolina. And then you have, let's see, Luther Burden's on that team, wide receiver, as you would imagine. The offensive line has 5 players, all from the Southeastern Conference, including Tyler Booker from Alabama, Parker Brailsford from Alabama. You got a Georgia offensive lineman. You got an LSU offensive lineman. You got a Texas offensive lineman. The all-purpose All-American first team is Travis Hunter from Colorado. Ashton Genty, the running back from Boise State, is second team. Memphis did a job on him when they played 2 seasons ago. On the defense, James Pierce, the defensive end from Tennessee, first team. Some other highlights from the team, Harold Perkins, who's a terrific linebacker for LSU. Then in the secondary, you have Michigan, Ohio State both represented. You have Georgia and Notre Dame as well. Graham Nicholson, the Alabama place kicker, is the first teamer. And Mastromano from Florida State is your first team punter. Again, that's from ESPN.
Texas, of course, got more bad news yesterday on the running back front with another running back done for the year.
Christian Clark.
At this point, they might just start they may want to put the red jerseys on the running backs for practice. I mean, they're down to 3 scholarship running backs, and we're still a couple weeks away from the opener. So it is it's tough to be a running back at Texas right now.
It is. Christian Clark, the freshman. And look, before C.J. Baxter's injury, I don't think a lot was expected of him. but he moves up the depth chart with C.J. Baxter being lost for the year. Now Clark is out with a torn Achilles. Do we have to start looking at Texas any differently? I know they're a quarterback-led team with Quinn Ewers and great receivers and a big offensive line and a stout defense. But come on. That's ridiculous to lose 2 running backs in practice, for goodness sakes. Ease up a little bit, Sark.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know what, if any of these probably very well could have both been non-contact injuries. I have no idea. But, if you're going at your 3 scholarship running backs, now, again, Quinn Ewers and that offense, they may not need to run the ball at all. And he was not going to be like the starting running back, even with Baxter out.
Right.
So, but the depth is there. Again, 3 scholarship guys is 3 scholarship guys. You don't want to lose any more. That's for sure. I mean, these guys want to have at least 2 running backs for every game, if not 3. So yeah, they want to. It's getting a little dicey at that running back position. That's for sure.
It's getting a little blue, as in Jaden Blue, because he's going to have the bulk of the carries, assuming he stays healthy. And speaking of injuries, Oklahoma loses starting wide receiver Jaden Gibson for the season. Led the team last year with 5 touchdowns.
Yeah, the newcomers to the SEC. It's tough enough coming into the SEC. You don't want to come into the SEC shorthanded, and both of them are doing it. So that's good luck to them. Good luck to Oklahoma. Good luck to that voter who had Oklahoma. Was it 6th, 5th, 6th?
Yes, but that isn't crazy. It's the voter who was it the same voter who had Tennessee 15th? Or no, Ole Miss. Excuse me, Ole Miss. That's crazy.
I think Oklahoma at 6th is a little crazy.
I think
coming into at the end of the whatever preseason to say this Oklahoma team, you would put them 6th in the nation right now. That's a little crazy.
Oh, 6th in the nation. I was just thinking in the SEC. I'm just thinking where they may finish in the SEC when it's all said and done. I was thinking, 6th is not crazy that Oklahoma could finish 6th. Oh, in the nation? Yes, you're absolutely right. That's nuts.
This hour of the program is brought to you by the Big Green Egg. I saw yesterday out here they were doing some cooking and stuff, and they had their Big Green Egg fired up out here at Southwind. You walk around Southwind, see some of these houses. You see Big Green Eggs all over the place. People know. People are smart. They know what the best grill there is, and that is the Big Green Egg. The best grill there is, and the last grill you'll ever need to buy is the Big Green Egg. You can go to biggreenegg.com to get all of the information about the Big Green Egg. If you go to the Ace Hardware stores here in town or Hamilton Fireplace, they carry the Big Green Egg, all the different sizes of the egg, all the egg accessories. I'm telling you, it's a life changer. It's changed my life. It's the only question people will ask. You might go in, you'll look at it, you might see the price tag and say, man, can that really be worth it? I asked that question for years. I'll be honest with you. And then I finally said, you know what? I'm doing it. I talked to people who had Big Green Eggs. They all told me, yes, it's worth it. I made the move, and I am here to say, without question, it is worth it. If you love to grill, there is no better grill than the Big Green Egg. It'll change your life. I absolutely love cooking on my Big Green Egg. Again, biggreenegg.com. Ace Hardware stores here in town or Hamilton Fireplace, they carry the Big Green Egg. Well, Team Thagala, they birdied their second hole as well. Team McElroy did not. So Team Thagala, Matthew Fitzpatrick will play the back 9 or the second 9 with that group. But they are 2 under par through 2 holes, and they are the leaders here early on in the Pro-Am going on today out here at TPC Southwind. Again, the pros will play 9 holes each. So 2 different pros will play with the amateurs, one on one 9, one on the other 9. Rory McIlroy's out there. The Gala's out there. Billy Horschel's out there in the course. Tony Finau's out on the course right now. Justin Thomas is out on the course right now. A lot of these bigger names playing earlier in the day in the Pro-Am. So if you're coming on out, it is a light rain still right now, but they're able to continue playing. No lightning like that. Again, the rain isn't coming down very hard at all. Just a very light sprinkle coming down out here right now at TPC Southwind, and hopefully we can avoid any heavy rain or any lightning that will pause play here during the Pro-Am today. Back with more from TPC Southwind and the FedEx St. Jude Championship right after this. Sports 56 mornings on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
Broadcasting from the Family Leisure Studio, we
or someone you know or care about has dealt with a difficult divorce. When facing divorce, you need the attorneys at Rice Law. Nick and Larry Rice lead the firm with 3 generations and 7 decades of experience. Located in Memphis, serving the entire state of Tennessee and North Mississippi. Rice Law is who you need to call. Simple or difficult divorce, they know how to handle it. Call Rice Law at 901-526-6701, or for more information, visit them at aboutdivorce.com. That's aboutdivorce.com.
Getting quality employees to fill positions in your company is essential, but finding those people can be a major hassle unless you use ZipRecruiter. ZipRecruiter makes finding quality people a breeze. ZipRecruiter's advanced technology identifies candidates with the right skills, sends you great matches, then you can easily invite them to apply. 4 out of 5 employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. See for yourself. Go to ZipRecruiter.com/free to try ZipRecruiter for free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free.
Blue Cross Blue Shield of Tennessee is honored to stand alongside 1,600 dedicated volunteers to make this year's annual FedEx St. Jude Golf Tournament a resounding success. Paige Hanson Billings is the chairperson of the Patriots Outpost Volunteer Committee. Why is it so important to Blue Cross Blue Shield of Tennessee to give veterans a great experience at the FedEx St. Jude Championship?
I think everyone has a connection to the military, and with Blue Cross Blue Shield, not just our Patriots Outpost, where our entire volunteer committee has a military link. Myself, U.S. Army. My dad was in the Navy. He's also a volunteer. So Blue Cross Blue Shield pays for all of our uniforms. We get a bag that has sunscreen and a cool towel in it, whereas a lot of other tournaments, especially PGA Championship tournaments, those volunteers are paying $200+ just to volunteer and have this experience.
To read more about how Blue Cross Blue Shield of Tennessee helps our communities, please visit bcbst.com.
Hi, this is Troy Fiveash, owner of Fiveash Roofing. In these uncertain economic times, there are so many things as a contractor and a business owner that I cannot control. The rising cost of materials, not to mention fuel and transportation costs. In the last 2 years, shingle prices have almost doubled, and commercial materials have doubled. And I don't have to tell you what fuel costs these days. But you know what I can control? How much markup I put on a project. I have always prided myself in knowing I never gouge a customer. But in an effort to ensure my crews have work and my customers are being treated fairly, I have lowered my profit margin, hoping to give you a price you can live with and keeping my crews busy. So if you need a roof or gutters, please give us a call. Five Ash Roofing, fair, honest, and ethical. Five Ash Roofing, a proud sponsor of Tiger Athletics and a member of the Tigers home team. 367-0050 or memphisroofer.com. 367-0050 or memphisroofer.com.
Now, back to Sports 56 Mornings on Sports 56 and this hour brought to you by
Happy Hump Day, everybody. Welcome back to Sports 56 Mornings as we broadcast live from the FedEx St. Jude Championship. Today it's Pro-Am Day. We are broadcasting inside the hub just off the 18th fairway at TPC Southwind. Greg Gaston and Eli Savoy. Zach Boyd producing the program back in the Family Leisure Studios. Again, a big shout out to all our great sponsors here for the FedEx St. Jude Championship 2024. Our title sponsor, Landers Ford. Our scoreboard sponsor is Sissy's Log Cabin. Also, First National Bank, Jason's Deli, Wade Incorporated, your North Mississippi John Deere dealer, Ronnie Grazzani's Town Village Audubon Park, Banyan Tree Realtors, Wilson's Power Wash, DeSoto Honda, Jim's Place, Blue Cross Blue Shield of Tennessee, and Memphis Tourism and the Memphis Sports Council.
It is cold in here.
But we're smart. We both brought jackets.
It is.
I wasn't getting burned again.
Cold in the hub. It is flat out cold. It's amazing. I don't even understand because the whole end, this end is open.
Right.
But it's still, they're able to keep it like cold in this place.
I mean, if anybody wants to find.
Every time I go outside at the breaks to warm up. And then if I walk out there, though, my glasses fog up immediately. I can't see anything. It's like I don't know what to do. I'm stuck in a weird world right now.
Well, if anybody has this huge building or just even a big home and they want the ultimate air conditioning, they better find out which air conditioning unit they have here or what company, because this thing works to a T every single year. But we learned, and that's why we've got jackets on.
So, again, next couple of days, you get hot out there.
This is the place.
Come on to the hub. Come on to the hub.
This is the place.
You will be okay. That's it'll be a little bit of a shock to the system probably when you walk in the door, but then you may never want to leave again. That's how it is. Absolutely fantastic in here. Also, again, when you come on by to the hub, not only can you win prizes from AutoZone and Nike and Southland Casino and others that are set up here with various little games to play, you can also register to win. We're going to be giving away 4 tickets for the University of Memphis Tigers football game against Troy on September the 7th. All you got to do is come on by to our table, you can say hello, and fill out a little entry form, drop it in the box. We'll be drawing for that after all of our shows are done out here on Friday afternoon. When Sports Time wraps up at 6 o'clock, we'll draw out that winner. Somebody will win 4 tickets for the Tigers and Troy. So come on by and see us any day, today, tomorrow, or Friday to register to win those tickets.
One more thing about Tigers football. This was asked by Jonah Dillon of Ryan Silverfield yesterday after practice about the House settlement, specifically the change to the roster limits. Rosters will be cut from 120 to 105, but will allow full scholarships for everyone. Again, if you can't afford it, you're not going to be given 105 full scholarships. Power 5 schools certainly, or Power 4 schools can certainly do that, but this takes away basically the walk-ons, which Memphis has utilized to the fullest for a number of years. This is the comments from Ryan Silverfield, and this is exactly what I thought he would say. It's interesting. Out of 130 Division I head coaches, not a single one wanted to reduce the limits on the roster. No one asks us our opinions, nor do they care. So whatever they tell us we're going to do, that's what we have to do. You're seeing some head coaches get very frustrated with it because I think we have some idea of what it should look like. But we're getting told by other people what we need to do and how it looks. And no one wants to hear head coaches complaining. And I'm not complaining. So whatever they tell us to do, if they say rosters are 50 people, if they say they're 150 people, we'll figure this thing out.
Yeah, they don't. That's why, I think why we've seen some coaches get out, because they just don't want to be a part of where college football or college basketball is headed necessarily, and they are not asked for their opinions on these things. And it's also why, like with the Kyle Whittingham comments about expansion, the coaches generally aren't in the know. This is all done by the presidents and chancellors and all that stuff. And the league commissioners. I don't think coaches know a whole lot.
Like Ryan said, they're told what to do and they do it.
And they're focusing on their team, right? Like they're trying to get their team ready to play, whatever it is, all that stuff. But I don't think they care to know in a lot of the stuff about expansion, stuff like that. They're just kind of tell me what conference I'm playing in. We'll go play in it. We'll do it to the best of our ability. But yeah, I don't know how much coaches are really in the know on what's going on.
Coming up in hour 2, we'll talk about the NBA schedule, which will be coming out tomorrow. But yesterday, the NBA Cup schedule was released, and we'll tell you in particular what the Grizzlies' schedule looks like. I think you already know that they are part of a group. This was announced several months ago, if not longer, that will include Denver, Dallas, New Orleans, and Golden State, along with the Grizzlies. But we'll go over that in hour 2. Some interesting comments that Steph Marbury had. Remember him? Starbury? He had some things to say about MJ versus LeBron. And we'll have Steve Sands from the Golf Channel on NBC. That'll be coming up at 8:30. We'll talk Grizzlies with DeMichael Cole at 9:05. The NFL injuries continue to mount all over the place. Same with college football. We talked about the SEC and especially Texas and Oklahoma, the newcomers in these injuries. But they're also mounting in the NFL. And the Vikings have lost rookie quarterback J.J. McCarthy to a knee injury. He will have surgery for a tear in the meniscus in his right knee. His status to be determined. Sam Darnold was going to start the season, but McCarthy was eventually going to be the starter, I would have imagined, unless Darnold just tore it up. And now McCarthy, one of the heralded 5 rookie quarterbacks drafted in this past 2024 draft, is done for the year, more than likely.
Yeah, they got to find out when they get in there to see what they have to do to it. There is a chance that he could be back this year, but if they have to completely repair it, then he's done for the year. Certainly, there will be, regardless of what they do, I would imagine there's going to be no rush or hurry to get him back. They're going to be very careful with him, whatever the case is. So, that's a costly one. You hate to see that for a young player coming into the league and for the team as well to have to deal with that. Obviously, last year they lose Kirk Cousins during the year to a season-ending injury, and now they go out and draft his replacement, and now he's possibly done for the year before the season even gets started.
Yeah, there's a couple quarterbacks that have already been hurt in camp. You're running out of quarterbacks, really, essentially, quality quarterbacks, or at least what you think could be quality quarterbacks to add to your roster, whether it be a third quarterback, somebody for the practice squad. They've gone out and they've raided the UFL. Adrian Martinez is now part of the Jets, but there is a player that I still think, I'm not sure why nobody has added to the roster, unless I'm mistaken, and he has been added, is Matt Corral, who was part of that Birmingham Stallions team with Adrian Martinez. Doesn't he make sense for Minnesota to pick up?
I don't know who they all have there right now with McCarthy out. Matt Corral didn't get to play a whole lot in the UFL. They went back and forth.
But when he played, he was good, wasn't he?
And then Martinez basically beat him out for the job from that point on. I don't know if any teams have brought him in for workouts or taken a look at him or not. But, yeah, as far as if I don't know, Minnesota, I don't know if they have three other quarterbacks there right now. I assume they probably do. I'm not sure who that is. But yeah, Matt Corral certainly would be a possibility for these teams to at least bring in for a workout and take a look at.
All right, let me look.
The Vikings, they have
Jaron Hall, right?
Sam Darnold, Jaron Hall, and Nick Mullins.
Okay. Oh, that's right. Nick Mullins is still there.
Yeah, Jaron Hall. Was he BYU?
Yes.
Jaron Hall? Okay. And Mullins is a veteran now, so
Mullins was played last year, started for him last year.
Yeah, so that's not bad right there. Losing McCarthy is not good, but there's some backups for Sam Darnold, so maybe not the right place. But I still stick by what I said with Matt Corral, that I'm surprised he's not with a team in camp, and I don't believe he is. Other news from the world of Major League Baseball: Juan Soto went crazy last night with 3 home runs.
Yeah, he was not going to allow the Yankees to lose to the White Sox again. So he provided all of their offense.
Yeah, after a 12-2 loss, they bounced back. That is his 6th multi-home run game of the season, most in Major League Baseball. And, of course, this was 3 home runs. I think the Yankees and Juan Soto are a match made in heaven. I think they get a long-term deal done. I think Soto will remain in pinstripes when it's all said and done.
I would think he does. One thing I know, whether it's with the Yankees or wherever, he is going to be an extremely wealthy person.
That's for sure.
Because he is going to get a massive, massive deal. He can just flat out hit. He is an absolute machine.
They did lose Jazz Chisholm, I believe.
Yes, he's going on the injured list. I think it's a elbow injury. Can't remember for sure what it is with him.
He's been pretty good since his pickup. He's hit a bunch of home runs.
Genesis Diamonds, speaking of pretty good, they've got a pretty good deal. Actually, it's a really good deal going on right now, but you're running out of time. Right about the time that this golf tournament wraps up on Sunday, that's when their special deal is going to be wrapping up. 5 o'clock Sunday, that's when you have till to take advantage of 20% off all GIA certified diamond rings at Genesis Diamonds. Poplar and Perkins Extended is where you'll find them. Any shape, rounds, radiants, pear shapes, ovals, princess cuts, cushion cuts, emerald cuts, whatever it is, any size, whether it's a half carat or 20 carat diamond, whatever, 20% off. They're already low prices that you find every day at Genesis Diamonds. So don't miss this opportunity to save money. If you're thinking about getting engaged, now is the time to get that ring from Genesis Diamonds. 20% off through Sunday. Poplar and Perkins Extended.
Hour 1 in the books. We're coming back. We'll open up with Grizzlies talk for hour number 2 as we broadcast live from TPC Southwind inside the hub just off the 18th fairway as today it's Pro-Am Day for the FedEx St. Jude Championship right here on Sports 56 Mornings with Greg and Eli on Real Sports Talk, Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
Simple, smooth, and every sip is easier to last. Tito's handmade vodka tastes just as good with tap water as it does your favorite mixers. Back in the day, Tito distilled, hand-bottled, taste-tested, sent out to a few friends, then taste-tested again to give you the finest juice around. No frills, no flavors, no fancy labels, just the good stuff, just Tito's. For recipes, videos, and more, visit Tito'sVodka.com. Distilled and bottled in Austin, Texas. 40% alcohol by volume, namely 80 proof, crafted to be savored responsibly.
DQ presents... Picture this. Picture the DQ $7 bacon cheeseburger meal deal. Not just a cheeseburger, a bacon cheeseburger, plus fries, drink, and a sundae, all full-sized, all for $7. Because everything's better with bacon. Everything's also better with a side of fries, a refreshing drink, and a sundae to finish. Yum. The $7 bacon cheeseburger meal deal. Now for a limited time on the $7 meal deal lineup. DQ. Happy tastes good.
When you were young, all you wanted in the summer was an ice cream truck to roll by. Now, you just can't wait for the Harbor Freight parking lot sale to roll around. And it'll be here this weekend. Maybe you're looking to fill up that tool chest. Maybe you're looking for a tool chest to fill up. You'll save money either way. Whatever you do it for less at Harbor Freight. Valid until August 18th, 2024. While supplies last. Limitations apply.
Ole Miss Rebel Yell is back. The Rebel Yell Hotline Radio Show is back on WHBQ Sports 56 and 98.5 FM. Every Monday night at 6, hear the latest news on your Ole Miss Rebels with Yancey Porter with 24/7 Sports, former Ole Miss defensive tackle Mike Fitzsimmons, Gordon Ford covering SEC Sports Call, and former Ole Miss baseball announcer Gary Darby. From kickoff to free throw to extra innings, your Ole Miss Sports on the Rebel Yell Hotline Show right here Monday night at 6 on Sports 56, 560 AM and 98.5 FM. Your Mid-South Sports Station.
This Sports 56 traffic report is brought to you by Luttrell Belting. They keep you moving.
Sports 56 traffic.
Good morning. T-Dot's got this crash over to the side on Bill Morris Parkway westbound, right at Ridgeway. It's pretty heavy down through there as it is this time of the morning. It's also starting to get a little bit heavier on 40 westbound as you come in from Fayette County into Shelby there on 40 west at Chambers Chapel, Canada Road. All that traffic flow building quite a bit now on Ostaby Highway southbound on that ramp to I-40. Weimer's Jewelry 7525 Highway 64 is your full-service family-owned jewelry store right here in the Memphis area. Go by and see them today. I'm Commander Chuck with your on-time traffic.
Now back to Sports 56 Mornings on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM. This hour is brought to you by James Gaddis Jewelers.
Genuine diamonds, baby.
Here once again, Greg Gaston and Eli Savoy.
Welcome back, everyone. 8:01 the time. Hour 2 here on Sports 56 Mornings, the Wednesday, August 14th, 2024 edition. Greg Gaston, Eli Savoy broadcasting live from TPC Southwind. We're inside the hub, just off the 18th fairway as we begin our wall-to-wall coverage of the FedEx St. Jude Championship. Zach Boyd producing the program back in the Family Leisure Studios. Family Leisure, where family and fun come together. Their big spa sale going on, the ultimate spa sale, 2120 Whitten Road, just north of I-240. Currently 77 degrees, overcast skies, a little bit of light rain out here at Southwind, although in the forecast they're calling for possible thunderstorms, some locally heavy downpours during the afternoon hours.
It is not raining right now.
Okay, so good if you want to come out and watch the Pro-Am, but even this morning when it was raining, it was light rain. But again, what they're calling for, and it may not necessarily be right here in this part of Memphis, but they're calling for the possibility of thunderstorms, 85 degrees for a high. Then tonight, we're looking at clear to partly cloudy skies and 74 degrees. The tournament starts tomorrow with a high expected to be 97, but some clouds. And again, when the sun dips behind the clouds, not as bad. 97 Friday, 92 Saturday, and then 90 on Sunday is the forecast for the 4 rounds of the golf tournament. Second hour of the program brought to you by our great friends at James Gaddis Jewelers. They have been with us for a long, long time. Located at 4900 Poplar, right between Mendenhall and St. Nick, on the web at gaddisjewelers.com. They are your family's jeweler. You know by now they are your bridal, engagement, and anniversary jeweler headquarters. If you're looking for that special engagement ring, there'll be a lot of folks this fall that'll be getting engaged. I got married in the fall, and just a good time of the year when the weather starts to change. And if you're looking for that special engagement ring, they have it for you at James Gaddis Jewelers. And they have a variety. All their diamonds are independently graded and certified. They know there's a lot of competition, so they make sure they have a price point to suit everyone's budget. So whether it's a $2,000 diamond ring, a $75,000 diamond ring, I don't know, they have variation, all different price ranges for you, but beautiful diamond rings. And they're all, they're appraised. James is a certified appraiser and a master jeweler and a diamondologist. So he's going to steer you in the right direction. You're looking for that engagement ring, that wedding ring, that personally designed wedding set, or all other fine jewelry, including watches and rings and pendants and bracelets and necklaces. That's the place for you. James Gaddis Jewelers, 4900 Poplar between Mendenhall and St. Nick, and on the web at gaddisjewelers.com.
Team McElroy with the lead in the Pro-Am. Rory was the first off today, and his team is 4 under through 4. He will play the first 9 holes, then hand off to JT Poston for the back 9. Again, coming up a little bit later on this morning, Scotty Scheffler plays going off number 1 at 8:28. Xander Schauffele goes off at 8:50 off of number 1, as they only play 9 holes today. Colin Morikawa will be 8:50 off of number 10, coming up later on this morning as well for the Pro-Am. Again, hopefully the weather cooperates. They don't have any issues getting it all in, although got to be honest, the future radar doesn't look great for today.
It doesn't, but look, yesterday they were saying 25% chance of rain and not any chance of dangerous rain, and as far as thunderstorms and things of that nature and flooding, and now they're saying it. So things change at the drop of a hat. Tomorrow, round 1 action will get underway at 7:20. They'll be going off in pairs all off of the first tee. So starting at 7:20 all the way to 1:15 is when they'll be teeing off in pairs for the first round and, of course, the subsequent rounds. But tomorrow's action starting at 7:20 with Justin Rose and Ben Griffin to get the FedEx St. Jude Championship underway. Did you see that video of Precious Achiuwa? I'm staring at it right now on my iPad, where he is literally walking 2 lions in Zambia, in Africa, by the tail.
I have not seen that.
Well, you're looking right at it. Look at this. This is nuts. Look at this. I'm sure, folks, you have seen this. If you have not, it's on Precious's Instagram, and he's posted it. Somebody taking the video of him holding both these lions' tails and walking them in Africa. Good on Precious. That has that takes some big cojones.
I guess good on Precious. I don't know. I'm assuming they are very tame lions. And he got good authority on that.
It doesn't say if they're like in some kind of preserve, zoo, whatever, just out there in the wilderness. I don't know what it is. I'm assuming it's a preserve, but
you always have any time, at any point, a lion can go lion on you, especially when you're holding his tail. So, but
catch a tiger by its tail.
Good on him.
A lion.
Good on him, I guess. If he survived it, good on him.
All right. So yesterday, the Grizzlies found out the 4 teams, the 4 dates that they will play the teams in the Emirates NBA Cup. And the full schedule is expected to be released tomorrow for the upcoming NBA season. But it was already announced that the Grizzlies would play in the West Group C. So Denver, Dallas, New Orleans, Golden State, and the Grizzlies. So they knew who the opponents would be. but they found out the dates and where they will play. The Grizzlies will play at Dallas. They will play at Golden State on November 15th to open it up. They will host the Pelicans, and they will host the Denver Nuggets. Not easy.
No, this group is it's a difficult group, but again, you look at all the groups in the Western Conference, and you're like, oh yeah, that's a really difficult group, and that's a really difficult group, and the fact that the Grizzlies were bad last year really makes this group kind of tougher because they put these teams into different groupings when they make when they draw these things out. So the Grizzlies being lumped in as one of the bad teams in the Western Conference, I'm sure that doesn't make Denver and Dallas and them happy that, we got the Grizzlies as one of our quote-unquote bad teams in our group. But, yeah, it's for fans' purposes, it's a fun group to be a part of. And, getting Denver obviously coming in here as a part of this, always great to see them. And then New Orleans will be here for a 4 o'clock game on Black Friday. So a little mid-afternoon Black Friday game against New Orleans on November the 29th. And then you get the trips to Golden State and Dallas. So, yeah, it'll be it's not going to be easy to get out of group play, that's for sure.
It's going to be a busy week, as it always is, Thanksgiving week. I'll be in New Orleans with the Tigers playing on Thanksgiving night against Tulane, and then back in time to actually go to this game on Black Friday. But also Black Friday will feature Ole Miss and Mississippi State in the Egg Bowl. You have all types of basketball tournaments going on as far as the college basketball level is concerned. But as you mentioned, this is tough. It was rough last year. The whole season was rough. The Cup was rough. But they'll play Golden State, 9 o'clock Central on the 15th to get things started. This will be the first time in a long time that Golden State will not have Klay Thompson. In fact, Golden State, I believe they play Dallas. Well, yes, they're in that Group C. So they will play Dallas in their first game, and that means the return of Klay Thompson. As you mentioned, Denver, that is a visit from Nikola Jokic. You have the 4 o'clock game, as we talked about, on Black Friday with the Pelicans, who now have DeJounte Murray. And then the Dallas Mavericks. And the Mavericks, with the moves that they made before the trade deadline last year, enabled them to get as far as they did, and that's to the NBA Finals before they lost to Boston. I keep hearing the conversations about the Grizzlies and a healthy Grizzlies team, where they should be, and I understand. Look, I know how good this team can be. I know how good this team was. Now, there is a big difference. Steven Adams is gone, and you have a rookie NBA big man who now people are enamored with, but before the draft, they weren't exactly singing his praises as being taken number 9. Now it's a different ballgame, of course. And I'm talking about some of the media, not just fans. Fans are fickle, but some of the media that changed their tune. But hopefully he becomes that guy that Steven Adams was. And he has all the capability of being that. Physical, rebound, block shots, set screens. Scoring is icing on the cake. But when I hear these conversations, the talk is Oklahoma City, and rightly so. Minnesota, certainly understandable. And then they kind of pause and throw in the Grizzlies. The Grizzlies have a chance to be a top 4 team. I just don't know if we're giving enough credit to some of the other teams in the West. Is all of a sudden, do people really think Denver's done?
No, but they've taken a step back. I mean, losing Kentavious Caldwell-Pope is a big loss for them.
It's not a big loss. It's a loss.
That's a big loss. Because they don't have any depth to begin with. They were playing 7 guys last year.
Well,
like Christian Brown, and you're just inserting Christian Brown into that spot in the lineup like he's just going to automatically pick up. That is a big loss.
As long as you have Jokic and you have a healthy Jamal Murray, you're a really good team. And I love the way that Malone staggers his lineup. He doesn't keep – this is what drives me crazy sometimes with Taylor. And I love just about everything about Taylor. But Taylor will keep Ja in at times for like the entire quarter. And then he doesn't seem to come back in until about 4.5, 5 minutes to go in the second quarter. Watch what they do with Jokic. They'll pull Jokic out about a minute to go in the first quarter, He's back in there at like 9.5, 10 minutes. He's back in the game. And I just love the way they stagger Jokic. So Denver, certainly, I will never count out them. I think
nobody's counting them out. They're saying they've taken a step back.
I just don't think they've taken a step back.
I mean, Matt Moore, who lives in Denver and covers that team as close as anybody, said it was a big loss and they've taken a step back.
Okay, but so you automatically throwing the Grizzlies ahead of Denver?
No, I think they're in that group with Denver.
Okay.
I think them and Sacramento and Dallas, and I think there's a big group that will be probably in that 3rd through 6th range. And injuries and other things will probably decide a lot about how it sorts out.
Exactly, I agree. That's the point I'm trying to make here. It's easy to say, well, the Grizzlies healthy are back to what they were the previous 2 years. They're going to win 50. They're going to be top 4. They were second for 2 straight years. I don't necessarily buy into that narrative. I think they could be, but I'm looking at, I think San Antonio's on the rise. I'm not saying it's going to be there this year, but I think they're a team that is absolutely on the rise. And when you have a freak like Wembanyama, you're going to be good. Houston's got a lot of pieces. If they could figure out how to put it together and complete that puzzle, Houston could be a dangerous out. Are we done with Golden State when they have the greatest shooter in the history of the game? Are we done?
I've been done with it for 2 years and haven't been wrong yet.
They were better than the Grizzlies. Of course, the Grizzlies were injured, but, I mean, is it out of the question that they still can't be a player? What about, is there a last hurrah for LeBron and the Lakers? Can Phoenix figure it out with Bradley Beal, or was that just a horrible, horrible move when you still have Durant and Booker?
I think they're in that group.
I don't know about the Clippers. The Clippers, to me, Kawhi, I don't think could be depended on to play the bulk of the games and ends up breaking down. Harden, of course, you know all about Harden and his antics sometimes late in a playoff series. But right now, looking at the West, the only teams I look at and go, they're going to struggle, is Portland, and they're young. Klingon now joins Scoot Henderson, but they're down the road. They're not this year. Utah, I don't know, but I think on any given night, when you have Lauri Markkanen leading the way and a few other players they have, and I don't like the Clippers' makeup, but everybody else, including Houston, including San Antonio, New Orleans, I love the Murray pickup. If it's a healthy Zion Williamson, they're going to be a tough out. I just don't know. And people are saying they're automatically winning 50, the Grizzlies. I don't know if they win 50. It's going to be close, but I don't know if they win 50.
I think healthy, they win 50. There's a clear track record. Ja Morant plays, they win 2 out of every 3 games.
Yes, but you're not taking into consideration in that analysis the improvement of teams in the West. It's not the same that when Ja was doing his thing 2 years ago. Times have changed a little bit.
Last year, with other people hurt, he came back. They won. There wasn't very many, but they won 2 out of every 3 games he played. It's been every single year that he's played. So I'm not going to doubt that if he's healthy, especially if the other guys are healthy, that they'll win 2 out of every 3 games.
So right now on August 14th, I put a gun to your head. You have to make these picks. Grizzlies 50 wins?
Yes.
Grizzlies top 4?
Yes.
Okay. Fair enough.
I mean, there are very few teams. You can talk about all these other teams, and yes, they're good. But, San Antonio's not ready to be a playoff team yet. Not even close, I don't think. But you talk about all these teams, but a Ja Morant, Desmond Bain, Jaren Jackson Jr., top 3, there aren't many of those teams that have that.
Right.
I mean, that is above most of the teams in the West.
But are we
top 3.
undervaluing Steven Adams and his impact? I think we've always undervalued him.
I don't know, because we haven't seen them healthy without Steven Adams. Again, in a playoff series a couple years ago, they benched him. He couldn't play. So,
there were bad matchups.
I don't think that losing Steven Adams is they can't win because they don't have Steven Adams.
Right. No, I'm not saying that. And Edey might be the second coming. I don't know. I don't know.
Brandon Clark and Edey and Jaren, I don't really care about the loss of Steven Adams, to be honest with you. I think they are. I think they are perfectly fine without Steven Adams. I don't think that has a big impact whatsoever on this team.
Would you,
if everybody else is healthy, especially, I don't think it matters at all.
Would you have a different opinion? I'm asking you to kind of look into the crystal ball here. Would you have a different opinion if next summer, God willing, we're talking about the past NBA season and the Grizzlies finished 7th, they were in the play-in, got knocked out, didn't make the playoffs, and everybody was healthy? Would you have okay, we got to really readjust, even though all these dudes are under contracts for a long time? We got to kind of think of where we really are.
Well, yeah, I mean, obviously, if you're fully healthy and you're not in the playoffs, then yeah, I mean, you got to go. Okay, maybe something. There's an issue here. What's the issue?
Okay,
but I don't think that's going to be the case.
Okay. By the way, you're in the in on things. Where do we stand with renovations in FedEx Forum? We haven't talked about that in a long time. What's going on?
Well, they were redoing the sound system stuff this summer, and have been doing. That's why they haven't had any concerts or anything like that. And then I don't know when major stuff will start. I don't know that they even have a complete final plan of exactly what they're going to be doing. So I would guess that the other stuff, the main stuff, the earliest it would start would be next off season.
Oh, really? As long as they work on the internet. And it's not like their owner has no knowledge of that. As long as they make that a little bit better, I think. That's my first priority.
Got a text here on the Sissy's Log Cabin listener line from Grizzly Steve. He says the Grizzlies' depth is going to be the difference. Our bench is better than the other team's benches. Yeah, and that's in the regular season. That certainly is a big part of it, because you're even without the injuries they had last year, guys are going to miss games. That we know that. I mean, guys will just sit out games. We know that it's going to happen throughout the season. But yes, I mean, if the G.G. Jacksons of the world can be what we think he has the potential to be in, and Vince Williams and all of this stuff, yeah. I mean, again, that depth is, we talk about trying to find minutes for G.G. Jackson. It's hard to look and go, okay, yeah, there's just certain minutes for G.G. Jackson. So yeah, there's no doubt that the depth that they have is, especially against teams like a Denver, other teams like that. Now, in the playoffs, that matters a lot less, but to get you to the playoffs, certainly that has an impact.
I like their depth. I like their depth on paper. I agree with the texter. But the counter would be, okay, G.G. Jackson, who wasn't even part of the equation last year until all the injuries happened, went out there and showcased his skills. But he did so on a team that was depleted, had to get his shots. How much of an impact will he have now being that 9th or 10th guy? Vince Williams, good. I think we're going overboard that we think Vince Williams is great. I mean, Vince Williams is solid. Brandon Clark, of course, is a key, but he's coming off the Achilles. It was good to see him for a few games out there, and hopefully the rest of this off season, he's been able to strengthen that Achilles and everything will be fine. He is a key. Kennard is obviously a key. They got him back for the 1 year, shooting the threes. I like their depth. I absolutely like their depth. Santi and what he was able to do for Spain in the Olympic Games, that strengthens his ability too. He's got to be a little more aggressive, I think, when he's out there. And I think it's about as deep as anybody's bench. But there's question marks. Can Vince consistently be that player we think he can be? Is G.G. Jackson ready to step up in a different role, maybe even a diminished role? And Brandon Clark, will he be fine physically coming off the Achilles? If they answer, all those questions in a positive way, that's going to be really, really strong for them in getting to 50, being a top 4 team. Because, as you said, in the playoffs, it's different, the depth, unless you have injuries. But during the regular season, that depth is very, very important in a long season to just churn those wins, turn over those games, win those games, because there's going to be games when guys are rested, guys have a little tweak and they're out, and you need other guys to step up. Well, last night we had dinner at Corky's, and it was outstanding, as it always is. In fact, they were getting ready for a QVC show at the Corky's we went to on Poplar Avenue in Memphis, and they are always on QVC and selling their product, and people are enjoying that product all around the country, probably all around the world. Now, you can dine in, carry out, no contact delivery with the drive-thru, or you can have any of the services delivered to your home or office. They have specialized in catering, so let them cater your event. Football is here. We got Jamboree starting Friday night, and then games next week in high school football, college football right around the corner. You want to do a little tailgating? Corky's makes a lot of sense. And again, any event you got coming up, no matter how small, how large, they can cater that event for you. Poplar Avenue in Memphis, Poplar Avenue in Collierville. They're at Germantown Parkway in Cordova and Goodman Road in Olive Branch. Party packs that start at just $7.49. Lunch specials every single day. When you head on over to Corky's, get yourself an entree. You can pick up a third of a rack of ribs for just $7.99. Have their award-winning catfish plate. You had that last night, I believe.
I did indeed.
Tamales, burgers, if you don't want to go the barbecue route. Amazing desserts as well. Delicious rolls that you get as a little side when you get an entree. It's Corky's Ribs and Barbecue, open for lunch and dinner 7 days a week. When we come back, Steve Sands from the Golf Channel on NBC will join us. This is Sports 56 Mornings with Greg and Eli on Real Sports Talk, Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
Be sure to follow us at Sports 56 WHBQ on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube to watch live video of our shows. Stay up to date with station events and have chances to win prizes. Don't miss out on anything that's going on. Follow us at Sports 56 WHBQ.
You or someone you know or care about has dealt with a difficult divorce. When facing divorce, you need the attorneys at Rice Law. Nick and Larry Rice lead the firm with 3 generations and 7 decades of experience. Located in Memphis, serving the entire state of Tennessee and North Mississippi. Rice Law is who you need to call. Simple or difficult divorce, they know how to handle it. Call Rice Law at 901-526-6701, or for more information, visit them at aboutdivorce.com. That's aboutdivorce.com.
Price does not include licensing costs, registration fees, taxes, and dealer dock fee of $899.50, which are to be paid by the consumer. Silverado RG 377,592, MSRP 61,065, dealer discount 42.74, factory rebate 47.50, trade assistance 1,000. Must trade in 2010 or newer vehicle. Track stock number RC 246,913, MSRP 23,395, dealer discount 14.03, expires 9/3/24.
Chris Price here for Brian Elder Roofing. For nearly 2 decades, we've installed some of the best roof systems across the Mid-South. To the tens of thousands of clients we've served, we are honored. So many of you call our team at Brian Elder Roofing your roofers. Our team is dedicated to serving you and keeping your family safe, dry, and mold-free. The recent hailstorms have caused massive damage, and many of these will go unnoticed for years, even though the golf ball-sized hail we just experienced in the Mid-South compromises even the best-built roof system. Whether we find damage or not, your photos are securely stored for future reference. Call Brian Elder Roofing today for a total evaluation of your entire roof system free. We will not try to sell you a roof if all you need is a repair. Call me at 901-867-0303. That's 901-867-0303. Or visit us online at brianellerroofing.com.
You know, sometimes I wish I had a gun.
Well, I'm armed, but before I bought one, I still went to Top Gun Academy to learn to protect myself without a gun.
How is that possible?
Top Gun's personal protection training. It's perfect if you want to protect yourself without firearms.
I don't know.
And it's perfect if you feel the need to carry a gun for self-defense, because the last thing you really want to do is shoot.
That is scary.
Not at Top Gun. It's very comfortable, and you learn to load, handle, and shoot a handgun safely. Protect yourself. Go to Top Gun Academy. They're at 2770 Witten Road.
Drive like a pro and support a great cause during the sales drive at Landers Ford in Collierville, Landers Ford South in South Haven, and Landers Ford North in Covington. We've provided over 100 new Fords to be driven by the pros at the FedEx St. Jude Championship. Now they're all being sold with demo prices. That's right. Over 100 new Fords driven by the pros are being sold with demo pricing below market value. A portion of the proceeds go directly to the St. Jude's Children's Research Hospital. This is a once-a-year opportunity to
Trade up and drive like a pro while supporting a great cause. Visit LandersMemphis.com. That's LandersMemphis.com. Or come see us at Landersport in Collierville, Landersport South in South Haven, or Landersport North in Covington. With our Landers Easy Pass, you can get top dollar for your trade-in to help you save even more. Don't miss your chance. Reserve your demo-priced new Ford driven by a pro at the FedEx St. Jude Championship and lock in low APR financing. Remember, if it doesn't say Landers, you paid too much.
Sports 56 traffic.
Good morning. We're still dodging some rain showers out here. It just depends on where you are, so be careful, especially north of Memphis, as that weather continues to move into our area. Traffic's on the increase now through South Haven with that volume on 55 going northbound. It's also still a bit heavy over here at times, coming down I-40 westbound between Abilene and Sycamore View Road, trying to get up on that flyover there. Some of that traffic already getting off there onto Sam Cooper, coming off the interstate. Havenly Showers, your curbless shower specialist. Transform your bathroom with a tub. Curbless shower conversion, HavenlyShowers.com. I'm Commander Chuck. You're on time traffic.
Now back to Sports 56 mornings on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM. This hour is brought to you by James Gaddis Jewelers.
Diamonds are forever. Woo!
Here once again, Greg Gaston and Eli Savoy.
Welcome back here out of TPC Southwind. FedEx St. Jude Championship gets underway tomorrow. Today it is the Pro-Am. And we are here in the hub, right along number 18. 18th and Main is where we are located in the hub, the frigid hub. Trying to stay warm in here today. It's a great place to come cool down, that is for sure. Our sponsors for our great coverage out here, our broadcasts out here at TPC Southwind all week, include our title sponsor, Landers Ford, who once again this year providing cars for all the players and officials and others. They've been doing that for many, many years, and you can take advantage of that with some great deals after the tournament wraps up. Memphis Tourism and the Memphis Sports Council, Blue Cross Blue Shield of Tennessee, Jim's Place, DeSoto Honda, Wilson's Power Wash, Banyan Tree Realtors, Town Village Audubon Park, Ronnie Grisani's, Wade Incorporated, Jason's Deli, First National Bank as well. And our scoreboard's brought to you by Sissy's Log Cabin. The scoreboard for the Pro-Am, Team McElroy, Rory and company, 6 under through 6. Justin Thomas and his group, 4 under through 5. Billy Horschel and his group, 4 under through 4.
Our great friend Steve Sands from the Golf Channel on NBC will be out here later today. Coverage begins tomorrow. You can watch Steve. You just saw Steve, if you're a golf fan, broadcasting from Paris and the Summer Games. He is a globetrotter, and he joins us now here on the Sissy's Log Cabin guest line. Steve, how are you?
Thank you for dinner last night, fellas. Very nice.
You're welcome. You are welcome. It is good to see you. I asked you last night, do you know what city you're in? I mean, you have been traveling every single week as you normally do, but going out of the country, back into the country, then back out of the country. You know you're in Memphis, right?
I didn't know where I was until we had that first beer and ate some of that barbecue, and there was no way in the world you could be anywhere other.
There you go. So we were talking last night about your experience, and again, great job. The crew, NBC did an unbelievable job with the Olympics. You guys did a spectacular job covering golf. But out of all of that, out of everything that happened, you said the most important thing that came out of that trip to Paris was you figured out a great way to sleep.
Greg, Eli, I'm telling you right now, they had these storm shutters, like hurricane shutters, that were completely blackout shades for the window. It was absolute pitch black darkness. You didn't know what time it was. It was the greatest sleep you've ever had in your life. I implore every single person who's watching this, who doesn't sleep, who's listening, who doesn't sleep well, like us three old men, to get this thing. I'm telling you, it was the biggest game-changing, life-changing thing I've ever seen in a hotel. It was amazing.
So you found them in a Paris hotel, and then you're getting them installed at your house, next week?
Eli, I called my wife and I said, listen, get this done now. She's like laughing at me. And she's like literally looked it up, and they're literally going to get installed. Got to get it done. Amazing. I'm telling you.
But you said you go in the room. You didn't know at first about these, and then there was a button on the side of the bed, and you would ask somebody in your crew, and they said, just do it, and you'll know what I'm talking about, and then you did it the next night and then found out about these shutters?
Greg, every single person in our crew was staying at this one hotel in Paris. So it's probably 150 of us. Literally, for the 2 weeks, it was the talk of the TV complex. It's literally all anybody was talking about. Here we are at the Olympics and at Paris and all these great things, and all anybody was talking about was this little button beside the bed that could make your room be complete and utter darkness. Sleep like a teenager. Amazing.
So what are your thoughts? Obviously, you're a part of it, so I know you like it, but your thoughts about golf as an Olympic sport?
Yeah, Eli, look, we've talked about this before. Whether it's basketball or tennis or golf, they're not traditional Olympic sports. But that doesn't mean they don't belong in the Olympics. They're just not traditional Olympic sports. And, I went to a hoops game. It was amazing to see the greatest players in the world. But it doesn't seem like the same to me as it was before the Dream Team and before it became professional. Right. I know Djokovic, was incredibly emotional winning the gold medal, and that was really, really cool. Scotty Scheffler, the same thing. Lydia Ko, the same thing. I'm good with the sports being in the Olympics because I understand that programming and they need it and all that kind of stuff. And it's good for the game. But I think golf is growing into being a really good Olympic sport, and I think they might change the format for LA in 4 years. And the guys are never going to skip it now. Scotty was emotional winning it. It was a really cool thing to see it, Eli. But, I think the gold medal, Xander Schauffele told me something interesting. The gold medal will be more important 40 years from now than it is currently because it's still so new to have golf in the Olympics. But it does belong in the Olympics for sure. It's great for the game.
Well, I think your answer is a good answer. And here's what I've been saying all along, and I have enjoyed everything. Look, I enjoyed the golf. I've enjoyed the basketball. I'm rooting for the Stars and Stripes, of course. But I said this a couple of times on the show. Every 4 years, I get a chance to watch swimmers, gymnasts, and track and field. When do I watch them? Any other time? Never. I never watch them. I watch them for the Olympics. I watch golf every week. I watch basketball during the season every day. And yes, well, 40 years from now, certainly they're going to look back, and Scheffler's going to look at his gold medal or Schauffele from before, and they're going to cherish that. But I'm telling you, they're not going to trade that. They would trade that in a second for a green jacket. Scheffler's got one, Schauffele doesn't. But I think it's important, but it's not as important. But I think your answer was right. It's part of it. It needs to be a part of it. It's fun to watch. But there's nothing like swimming, gymnastics, and track and field. They're the three for me.
No, I agree with you. And I also think, whether or not a gold medal will mean as much to these guys as a major championship one day, maybe one day, but, major championships still, rue the day, in golf. And that's what separates, greatness. That's what greatness is measured by. Gold medals are really nice. FedEx Cup titles are really nice. But major championships are the ones that mean the most.
When you said possibly a change of the format a little bit for LA, do you think, are you talking about maybe going with more of a team aspect to it?
Yeah, I think they'd like to, Eli. It's really difficult schedule-wise to be able to get these men and women in and out of there in a week as opposed to 2 weeks. Because you still have their major championships on the LPGA and the PGA Tour, the FedEx Cup. It's a very tight schedule. But I think what they'd like to do, Eli, is have some sort of team competition so that it's not just Lydia Ko for New Zealand, it's not just Scotty Scheffler for the United States, that you're actually rooting for a country as opposed to an individual. Maybe put the men and women together for a couple of days. But some type of team aspect would really enhance the whole competition. If they could figure that out, it'd be great. Because stroke play's nice, and I enjoyed it, and it was a lot of fun. But I think a team aspect would pump it up just a little bit better, a little bit more.
Steve just completed his 7th Olympiad. He covers the summer games with golf, but also he has done speed skating at the Winter Games. And I asked you last night, how does Paris rank? And you said Paris and London have been the two best. What do you think is going to happen in 4 years in Los Angeles?
It's going to be fantastic. I think when you have the Olympics in these major cities, there's such a great backdrop. It sounds goofy, but if you look at that Eiffel Tower like all day, it's
Yes.
like you just see it and you're like, wow, it's really cool. And there's just so many things like that in major cities that you don't get in more rural areas or smaller places. And having the Olympics in Paris, having the Olympics in London, then having them back in L.A., there's a reason these cities have hosted them multiple times. London was the first to have it for 3. Paris just did it for its 3rd time. L.A. will have it for its 3rd time in 28, and I think it's going to be fantastic. And they're not spending a gajillion dollars because they have the venues, the L.A. Coliseum, where the Lakers play, the new building for the Clippers, SoFi. All kinds of different venues are already there, which is a really good thing. I think this is going to be a great Olympics. They're in a great run here. I mean, Paris, Milan for the Winter Games, L.A. In 28. You're talking about some great, great places. The French Alps in 2030 have already been announced. Brisbane in 2032 for the Summer Games, and then 34 back in the United States in the Winter Games in Salt Lake City. So it's a great run here of Olympic venues.
Are you, with all the time you spent over there in Paris, you and Snoop really tight at this point?
D-O-double-G, man. That's a cool cat. That guy is so cool. Like, he doesn't walk, he kind of glides.
He does.
I'm serious, man. He was a very, very cool guy. Very, very nice.
So do you buy into the narrative which is being put together by not only local media here in Memphis, but national people, that the player of the year in golf is still up in the air and that the FedEx Cup will determine it? Or do you believe, like Eli and I, that Scheffler's already sewn that up?
Well, I think Schauffele could win it if he wins all 3 events and the FedEx Cup. That's the only way.
It's going to be perfect.
Because Scheffler, he's not going to run the table. I mean, I guess he could, but he's not going to. That'd be incredible if somebody did that. But if he wins all 3 and he has 5 wins with 2 majors, Scheffler has 6 wins, 1 major, 1 players, and the gold medal. The only way that Scheffler does not win PGA Tour Player of the Year is if Schauffele runs the table here in the playoffs and wins the FedEx Cup. That's it.
Scheffler, this course certainly seems like it should suit him well. It is a ball striker's golf course. He is the best in the world. His track record here is not good. He's never had a top 10 finish here. Do you expect him, though, because this is a different Scotty Scheffler than we've ever had coming into Memphis. I would assume you expect him to be up there at the top of the leaderboard, at least competing for the win on Sunday?
Oh, definitely, Eli. I mean, we talked about this last night at dinner. I think, first of all, he's a different player than he was a year ago and a year ago before that, But more so than anything, his confidence level is so high, Eli. It doesn't matter what the golf course is. He formulates his game plan, then he goes out and executes it. And if the putter cooperates just a little bit, the ball striking is going to be there. And I think for sure, as these fields get smaller and smaller, things get ratcheted up, the pressure rises, and everybody knows what's at stake. I think Scotty Scheffler is the favorite, should be the favorite, and very well. He's not going to run the table. I mean, winning 3 in a row is amazing, but you never know. I mean, Scotty Scheffler would be the guy I would pick to be able to do something like that.
Steve Sands from the Golf Channel on NBC joining us here on the Sissy's Log Cabin guest lines. Yesterday, Victor Hovland said of TPC Southwind, it's a genius golf course. I've had a chance to interview a lot of the golfers over the years. I've covered this tournament in every form since I got here in Memphis in the mid-'90s. And to a golfer, they always rave about this course. Unless they're all lying through their teeth, they love the course. Yet this course, as you know, produces the most water balls on tour at any event because there's so much water and so much danger. It's kind of interesting that they love it, even though there's so much danger and it's penal at this course. So I don't know, it almost seems like an oxymoron, but why do you think they love it so much?
I think they love it because it's a fair test. It's not tricked up. It's difficult. It's challenging. And they're the best players in the world, and they like that. And I think that when a player raves about a golf course, he's not lying. A player would much rather, say nothing than say, give false praise. And
right.
For sure, these guys love this golf course. And I think one of the things that's so interesting about this course, Greg and Eli, is that when you hit a good shot, you're rewarded. When you hit a poor shot, you're punished. And I think that sits very well with players of this caliber. For hacks to go out, you play, blah, blah, it's just kind of fun to get out there and go do it. Play good golf courses, blah, blah, blah. These guys, if they hit a poor shot, they're okay getting punished. But if they hit a good shot, they feel as if they should get rewarded. And that's what this golf course does more than anything. It's a very firm test, a stern test. It's a very difficult golf course. But you can play well on it, and you can score, but you got to be careful. It's a good one.
Rory has been close here a few times, including last year. He was up there. Obviously had the collapse at the U.S. Open. The British did not go well for him. Where do you think Rory is in his game coming in?
Yeah, coming into the Olympics, we're like, wow, Rory's playing well and he's going to give himself a chance. Kind of had the same result as the Open Championship. I think, man, I think Eli, do I think he's still recovering from the U.S. Open? No, I don't think that. But I do think that could have a residual effect on the rest of the way you play, the rest of the way the summer goes on the golf course. And I think that, could he find a spark and all of a sudden, start getting hot? Without question. Without question, he could win another FedEx Cup. But I think that U.S. Open loss took a lot out of Rory. And I think that it's just been a difficult summer on and off the golf course for him. And I would love to see him play well, and I certainly think he can play well. But I do not expect him to, run the table and go win the FedEx Cup.
All right, Steve, on the heels of the Olympics, give me your gold, silver, and bronze winner here in Memphis. Give me a couple of dark horses, although top 70 on the tour, not really dark horses, but a couple of maybe guys that nobody's talking about that could make a run.
Well, your man Willie Z. Willie Z loves this golf course, and nobody's talking about Willie Z, and he could certainly do it. There's a guy named Jake Knapp. He could certainly somehow do it. Those are the dark horses.
Okay.
But I'm going to the top, man. What's that?
I like Jake Knapp.
Oh, wow.
I like to take a nap.
What's that? Yeah.
I love taking naps.
Go take those storm shutters and take a nap this afternoon.
This is KNAPP. No, he looks like he's he'd be at a Leonard Skinner concert in the 70s. But I like him.
Yeah.
Anyway,
but I really think that over the course of the 3 weeks, over the course of the season to get to this point, Scheffler and Schauffele have been the best players. And I don't think that's going to change. And I think those two are going to battle it out for the FedEx Cup in 3 weeks in Atlanta. And I also think they're going to probably do it this week in Memphis as well.
Wow, that would be something. If those two, of course, they've been dominating all year long. If they're actually the two that are battling to win it here in Memphis, that would be fantastic.
A guy that played well at the Olympics and I that has played well here in the past that I'd like to be up there and have a chance. Tommy Fleetwood, what do you think?
Oh, man, I'd love to see Tommy get it done. He came close to the Olympics, won that silver medal. Kind of an interesting way to look at his career. He just comes so close sometimes in these big events. And finally at the Olympics, he got something for it. He got a silver medal. Tommy, absolutely, Eli, could come here to Memphis and win. He has so much game. He's playing really well. Wouldn't shock me at all the time. Tommy's a great driver of the golf ball, you better drive it straight here in Memphis on this golf course. And I think Tommy absolutely has a chance to win here this week.
Steve, tell everybody when they can watch you.
Oh, when are we on here? 1 to 5 local time, Thursday, Friday. Saturday, Sunday, we get going at noon and I think 11. Take it all the way to 5 and 6 o'clock. So we've got it covered for you. It's an honor to be here. We love it. We don't get to do it at NBC and Golf Channel every single year. We trade it off with CBS, and we love coming here. We love seeing you guys in person, and it's always fun to be here in Memphis.
Well, we appreciate you. It's been fantastic. Good seeing you last night. Hopefully I'll run into you here in the next couple of days. But, again, thank you for another great season. Looking forward to next season already. Thank you, Steve.
You got it anytime, fellas.
The man, Steve Sands, from the Golf Channel on NBC. From golf to basketball, you want to become a better shooter, not necessarily Steph Curry. That would be great. I don't think anybody will ever become Steph Curry, but you can become a much better shooter by taking your basketball skills to the next level at Shoot 360 Memphis. It's a revolutionary basketball training facility that combines cutting-edge technology with gamification and provides instant, objective feedback with hands-on, one-on-one expert coaching. I've mentioned a couple of times now, Scott Adebato, the former Memphis Grizzly assistant, longtime college coach as well. He's part of that coaching staff. Now they have the Cordova location open, a newly renovated 50,000 square foot facility with 2 NBA regulation size courts, 3 high school size courts, and 4 shooting bays with Shoot 360 technology. Memberships are now on a monthly basis, and yes, you can become a member at both locations. So whether you're an aspiring young talent, an NBA player like Steph Curry who uses this system, or you're looking for a unique workout at all skill levels, they are certainly welcome for you at Shoot 360 Memphis. Learn the proper shooting and passing techniques, improve fundamentals, and gain a competitive edge while having fun. All you need to do is give them a call, and that's 901-779-3176. You could set up a tour or go online to Shoot 360 Memphis and register today. The future of basketball training is here. Shoot 360 Memphis. We'll take a timeout, wrap up hour number 2. This is Sports 56 Mornings with Greg and Eli on Real Sports Talk, Sports 56, 98.5 FM.
We are Real Sports Talk. Sports 56 WHBQ. Available on your radio dial at 560 AM and 98.5 FM, as well as around the world online at sports56whbq.com. Take us with you everywhere by downloading the Sports 56 app. And at home, just say, Alexa, play Sports 56. Wherever you are, stay tuned in to Real Sports Talk. Sports 56 and 95 FM.
At Blue Cross Blue Shield of Tennessee, they're proud to be here for their neighbors while giving back to communities across the state throughout the year, every year. This month, they're honored to stand alongside 1,600 dedicated volunteers as they make this year's annual FedEx St. Jude Golf Tournament fundraiser a resounding success. Giving back to St. Jude's Children's Research Hospital, which helps treat and defeat childhood cancer, is a meaningful effort that is very close to their hearts. This year, their goal is to reach $3 million in donations for kids at St. Jude's, and they couldn't do it without the support of their amazing volunteers. To all the participants, thank you for being a part of this most important endeavor to lift up so many families across the state from right here in Memphis, Tennessee. To read more about Team Blue volunteers, Blue Cross Blue Shield of Tennessee, Healthy Places, and other ways they're devoted to helping our communities, please visit bcbst.com.
You know, it only takes one bad decision to change your life, and riding after drinking can be one of those. It can lead to impaired reflexes, poor judgment, and then disaster. Think about it. Even one drink affects your ability to ride. Alcohol can limit your reaction time and give you a false sense of confidence. You think it'll never happen to you, but it can. So, if you hit the bottle, don't roll the throttle. Brought to you by NHTSA.
Getting quality employees to fill positions in your company is essential, but finding those people can be a major hassle unless you use ZipRecruiter. ZipRecruiter makes finding quality people a breeze. ZipRecruiter's advanced technology identifies candidates with the right skills, sends you great matches, then you can easily invite them to apply. 4 out of 5 employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. See for yourself. Go to ZipRecruiter.com/free to try ZipRecruiter for free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free.
It's Wrangler season out there. Warmer days, cooler nights, open roads, endless horizons. And you need to be ready in jeans made for the unpredictable. Wrangler, for the ride of life. Shop our newest styles today at Wrangler.com.
Now, back to Sports 56 Mornings on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM. This hour is brought to you by James Gaddis Jewelers.
Don't you just love it?
Here once again, Greg Gaston and Eli Savoy.
Welcome back, everybody. 8:53 at the time. Wrapping up hour 2, getting you set for hour number 3 as we broadcast live from TPC Southwind. We're in the hub, right off the 18th fairway. Today is Pro-Am Day. Tournament gets underway tomorrow. Some news from the University of Memphis and their women's basketball program. Great news for the squad as the Tigers have added transfer senior guard Dee Dee Hageman. She played 3 seasons at Michigan State. She was all Big Ten second team last year. So Alex Simmons goes out and gets an all Big Ten performer. She averaged 12.3 points per game, 5.3 assists per game. She started 72 of 82 games in her 3 years at Michigan State. That's what a little help from FedEx will do, because that NIL money, of course, is going to women's sports as well. And good on Alex Simmons to go out there and get a proven player who will have 1 year of eligibility remaining at the university.
Yeah, very, very good get there to add an all-conference player. So good on her, good on them, and hopefully that pays some big dividends. We're out here at the hub, which is right along 18th fairway. The rain continues to hold off right now. Hopefully that will somehow continue throughout the day, and they don't have any issues as the Pro-Am continues. Got underway at 7 o'clock this morning. Won't be too long here before we'll have some our first golfers of the day arriving at number 18. But the hub is right along 18 fairway, again, open to the public. Anytime you can pop on in here. They've got a bar. They've got the Pronto Pup stand right outside. Right across the way is the gift shop. They've also got a charging station for your phone here in the hub. They got some tables you could sit at, some chairs. They got folks set up with games where you can win prizes. And, of course, you can see us. You can win prizes from us. We're going to give away 4 tickets for the Tigers game against Troy on September the 7th. All you got to do is come by our table here in the hub. You can fill out an entry blank anytime that you come on by and drop it in the box. We'll be drawing for those for that winner coming up after we do all of our shows out here all the way through Friday afternoon at 6 o'clock. So you got all day today, tomorrow, and Friday to come on by and register, and then we'll be drawing out that winner for 4 tickets for the Tigers and Troy. Again, our coverage out here brought to you by Landers Ford, along with Sissy's Log Cabin, First National Bank, Jason's Deli, Wade Incorporated, Ronnie Grisanti's, Town Village Audubon Park, Banyan Tree Realtors, Wilson's Power Wash, DeSoto Honda, Jim's Place, Blue Cross Blue Shield of Tennessee, and Memphis Tourism and the Memphis Sports Council. Sissy's Log Cabin brings you the leaderboards at the checking the Pro-Am leaderboard. Still Team McElroy, 8 under through 8. 1 par, 1 eagle so far through the first 8 holes of the day. Team Thagala, Team Thomas, Team Thompson, Team Hoagie, Team Pavon, and Team Bhatia all at 5 under par. And again, those will all be handed off to other pros on the other side.
I like Team Hoagie for lunch. I really like Team Hoagie. As far as McElroy is concerned, what are the odds that it was somebody other than Rory that had the eagle putt or the eagle chip or the eagle approach shot, whatever it was?
I would say probably pretty good.
You think so?
Because they're all playing handicap.
Oh, okay. Okay. And again, tomorrow.
But I don't know. It might have been Rory. It was number 3 that they eagled, the par 5. I don't know who eagled it or how they eagled it. But, yes, I bet those guys. Again, there are some there's some fudging of handicaps that goes on for the old Pro-Am.
Yeah, and I don't have a list here of all who's playing in the Pro-Am, local names and business people, entrepreneurs, politicians, whatever the case may be. Usually I have that list, and I don't have that in front of me. I know tomorrow a number of folks, including Rick Shadiak, we talked to yesterday, will be playing out at Spring Creek Ranch, where they have a big fundraiser for St. Jude Children's Research Hospital. Just like, of course, this tournament, the beneficiary is FedEx St. Jude, and all the great things that they do. Obviously, we talked to Rick about that yesterday. It just blows my mind how much money is needed each year to keep that place running and to make sure that no family pays 1 red cent for services rendered to, unfortunately, their youngsters who are battling cancer. Hopefully one day we don't have to worry about that, but until then, they continue to need tournaments like this, benefits like they will have tomorrow, and all kinds of events throughout the year. But tomorrow, things will get underway at 7:20 with Justin Rose and Ben Griffin. They'll go off in tandems. They will all go off from the first hole. So tomorrow the action will begin at 7:20, and then the last tee time at 1:15. So basically all the way to, 5:30, 6 o'clock as the action gets underway in the 2024 FedEx St. Jude Championship. We will take a timeout. When we come back, hour number 3, it will be a busy one. So Michael Cole to start things off to talk some Grizzlies. This is Sports 56 Mornings with Greg and Eli on Real Sports Talk, Sports 56 at 98.5 FM.
Locally owned and operated for over 40 years, Automatic Gates Construction tailors custom gate solutions for all your residential, commercial, and industrial needs, including repairs, maintenance, and installation. Automatic Gates Construction specializes in designing and installing automatic gates and fencing that seamlessly blends security, functionality, and aesthetic appeal. Elevate the safety and efficiency of your property with a premium gate solution. Automatic Gates Construction at myautomaticgates.com.
This is the story of the one. As head of maintenance at a concert hall, he knows the show must always go on. That's why he works behind the scenes, ensuring every light is working, the HVAC is humming, and his facility shines. With Granger's supplies and solutions for every challenge he faces, plus 24/7 customer support, his venue never misses a beat. Call Granger.com or just stop by. Granger, for the ones who get it done.
Hi, it's the Herd. Whether you shower in the morning or at night, chances are you want to hop in right away instead of standing and waiting while your water heats up. My friends at Navien have your solution. Go tankless with a new Navien tankless water heater. You'll instantly get all the hot water you need as long as you need it. Right now, save hundreds on Navien tankless water heaters with local rebates. It's easy. Visit tanklessmadesimple.com. That's tanklessmadesimple.com.
It's Wrangler season out there. Warmer days, cooler nights, open roads, endless horizons. And you need to be ready in jeans made for the unpredictable. Wrangler, for the ride of life. Shop our newest styles today at Wrangler.com.
Ole Miss Rebel Yell is back. The Rebel Yell Hotline Radio Show is back on WHBQ Sports 56 and 98.5 FM. Every Monday night at 6, hear the latest news on your Ole Miss Rebels with Yancey Porter with 24/7 Sports, former Ole Miss defensive tackle Mike Fitzsimmons, Gordon Ford covering SEC Sports Call, and former Ole Miss baseball announcer Gary Darby. From kickoff to free throw to extra innings, your Ole Miss Sports on the Rebel Yell Hotline Show right here Monday night at 6 on Sports 56, 560 AM and 98.5 FM. Your Mid-South Sports Station.
We are Sports 56, WHBQ Memphis, and W253DF Memphis, Flynn Broadcasting Stations.
Sports 56 traffic.
Good morning. We're still dodging some rain showers out here. It just depends on where you are. They're still trying to clean up that situation where that tree has fallen there at Poplar Avenue at East Parkway. It's a little bit heavy over here at times on 40 westbound as you travel anywhere between Germantown Parkway and all the way up to Sycamore View Road. Havenly Showers, your curbless showers. Specialists transform your bathroom with a tub curbless shower conversion. HavenlyShowers.com. I'm Commander Chuck with your on-time traffic.
Welcome back, everyone. 9:02 the time. Final hour for us today here on Sports 56 Mornings. But the fun has just begun as we are broadcasting live from TPC Southwind. Dave Woloshin will follow up here from the hub just off the 18th fairway. Today it's Pro-Am Day. Tomorrow the FedEx St. Jude Championship will get underway with round one action. Greg Gaston, Eli Savoy on location today on this Wednesday, August 14th, 2024. Zach Boyd producing the program back in the Family Leisure Studios. Family Leisure, where family and fun come together, 2120 Whitten Road, just north of I-40. Currently 76 degrees. We'll get up to 86 today. There is some light rain falling again here at TPC Southland. Not enough to stop play or anything like that, but there is the possibility of some thunderstorms this afternoon. Tonight we're looking at clear to partly cloudy skies, 74 degrees. It'll be hot the rest of the week and really minimal chances of rain, although over the weekend about a 25% chance. But yesterday I said it was a 25% chance. Today ends up being a 100% chance. Hour 3 of the program brought to you by Jenkins Floors and More. You're looking for flooring and you're looking for carpeting, this is the place for you. Ceramic and porcelain tiles, hardwoods by Portercraft, carpeting from Southern Luxury Carpet, backsplashes for your kitchens and your bathrooms, and plantation shutters and blinds as well. They are located at 2356 Goodman Road in Horn Lake. They are also down in Cleveland, Mississippi, and in Little Rock, Arkansas. But this is the place for flooring and for carpeting, and saves you a lot of money because with Jenkins Floors and More, Timmy and Rebecca, family owned and operated, sell it wholesale. So they're going to skip the middleman. They're going to save you lots of money in the process. You may be a contractor out there, so you want to get materials as cheap as you possibly can, but you want quality. That's what you're getting at Jenkins. Same with homeowners. Now, they can also do the job for you. They can install and do so with an unheard of 2-week turnaround. They'll come to you. They'll give you a free estimate. You go with them. 2 weeks, the job will be done. So give them a call and tell them you heard it here on Sports 56 Mornings. 662-469-9350. Great family, great service. They're open Monday through Saturday. If you want to just stop by, please do so. Jenkins Floors and More, their new warehouse at 2356 Goodman Road in Horn Lake. Time now to talk some Grizzlies with DeMichael Cole.
It's time to talk some Grizzlies basketball. Joining Greg and Eli is DeMichael Cole, Grizzlies beat writer for the Commercial Appeal. Here's DeMichael with Greg and Eli.
He is DeMichael Cole from the Commercial Appeal. You can follow him on Twitter at DeMichaelC and listen to him every Wednesday right here on Sports 56 Mornings. DeMichael, you doing some golf work this week?
Oh, yeah. I'll be hitting the course. I'll be out there probably Thursday through Sunday. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, I remember last year you did a yeoman's job covering golf, get a little reprieve from your basketball duties. But speaking of basketball, there was Grizzlies news yesterday as it came out. We know the times, we know the dates when the Grizzlies will be playing in the Emirates NBA Cup. We already knew the group they were in, which includes Denver, Dallas, New Orleans, and Golden State. Not an easy task for this Grizzlies team, but it is what it is. You're going to have to face all these teams eventually, and hopefully with the team being healthy, knock on wood, they'll be able to challenge all these teams.
Yeah, before the games came out, because like you said, we knew the teams. I kind of basically said perfect case scenario. Even though this division is to me the toughest one of all the 6 groups. But
right.
I looked at it. I said if you could somehow manage to get Denver at home and not on the road, basically the best home team, you get them in FedEx Forum. And then I was like, who's the worst team in this group to me? All of them have playoff capabilities, but I would say Golden State is the worst team in the group. And I said, okay, that's the one you probably want to play on the road. Both of those things happened in this case. And then you get, you got to go to Dallas. That's going to be tough. And then New Orleans at FedEx Forum, anywhere against New Orleans is going to be tough, but probably a little bit of a favorable game for Memphis there. So I think if you were really just into watching how these 4 games were kind of going to be mapped out, not having to go to Denver will help their chances of coming out of that group. And, you got to go to Golden State, which they're really good at home. But if you say, hey, which team in the division do you want to go play on the road, I'd probably say that's probably the best one you have a chance of winning at.
It is funny because and I think this probably is the best group, but then when you do look at the other Western Conference groups, you're like, oh man, that one's really good too. Like you realize like how good the West is because all of the groups look really good.
Yeah. I think Group B is the one where you can make an argument. Say, oh, Group B is in the same in the conversation. Group A is the one that has Minnesota, Clippers, Sacramento, Houston, and Portland. Like Portland is probably going to be the worst team in the West, and then Houston's going to potentially take somewhat of a jump, but then Sacramento and the Clippers, I just don't have them firmly in my top six. Whereas every other, like Group B, you got Oklahoma City, and then you got Phoenix and the Lakers. The Lakers are the reigning in-season tournament champions. Like they tend to rise up for these games apparently. Phoenix,
bit of star power there.
Yeah. Phoenix made it to the final, to the final 8 as well, and then Utah and San Antonio. I expect San Antonio to take somewhat of a jump, and then Utah was pretty competitive until late in the season. But Group C is the one where you could say hands down make a strong case for each of those 5 teams being a top 6 and definitely a top 10 team in the West.
DeMichael, in the Western Conference, who, in your opinion, had the best offseason in everything from free agency to trades, whatever they did, the draft, obviously, and then how good of an offseason was it for the Grizzlies?
The best offseason in the West, the short answer is going to be Oklahoma City for me.
Mm-hmm.
Getting Alex Caruso was a very Boston Celtics getting Drew Holiday type of move. Not to the same, Drew Holiday's level above. But at the same time, you look at Oklahoma City and their weaknesses or whatever, and then getting, Isaiah Hartenstein on top of that, you have the ability to move Chet to the 4 in certain matchups against certain teams when, he's being bullied at the 5 or whatever the case may be. Or you have better depth, just in case of maybe a Chet Holmgren injury or something like that. You got Isaiah Hartenstein. And then with Alex Caruso, the ability to have, him, Jalen Williams, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, Lou Dort, all plus defenders. And he shot 40% from three-point range last year. Now you take out, Josh Giddey's negative three-point shooting and put in a better defender. It's no way that they shouldn't be a better team than last season, not just from the internal growth from a bunch of young guys. So Oklahoma City stood out to me. There were a couple teams. I like what San Antonio did. Just getting Chris Paul is I think a nice move to kind of help them get to the next step. Phoenix getting Tyus Jones at the minimum and getting Monte Morris. The biggest problem with Phoenix was turnovers, and they just got the 2 point guards in the NBA who are best at assist-to-turnover ratio. They didn't have a lot to work with, being in a second apron and whatnot. But those teams stand out to me. But getting to the Grizzlies part, I think the Grizzlies offseason was solid. The only thing that I would say anything negative about the Grizzlies offseason is they didn't take that Alex Caruso, type of swing with this roster because, clearly they were trying to be manageable with how financially with staying under the luxury tax, dodging the apron, and things like that. And it kind of makes sense in a way because going forward, you're going to have Desmond Bane, John Morant on these expensive contracts. Jaren Jackson Jr. potentially will be up for one this upcoming year, after this season ends. So I think Memphis overall from addressing needs, knocked it out of the park. I like the urgency from flipping the assistant staff and saying, hey, look, what we're doing, there are a lot of tendencies that need to be broken, and we need, new voices and new faces and help teaching these things from a developmental standpoint. Being able to move off of Zaire Williams, because it just wasn't a lot of growth opportunity for him here with the development of Vince Williams and Gigi Jackson. So I give the Grizzlies offseason a solid B+. The only thing is just the Western Conference is so competitive, and I didn't see that super swing for the fence type move, which, you've got to be careful with that at the same time. Like, it can make or break you. But I love what they did this offseason. I don't think there were too many teams that had a better offseason than the Grizzlies.
What do you think about New Orleans with DeJounte Murray? The fact that it looks like they're keeping Brandon Ingram, at least for now anyway. But how do you think that works with Murray?
So I like it from the standpoint of Murray gets to play point guard again. He's always been at his best at point guard. The whole spot-up shooting thing. Like, when Trae Young got hurt, DeJounte Murray, that was all-star DeJounte Murray that we got to see for that stretch. But this whole play him as a two-guard, like, it never was smart to me. So now in New Orleans, they get the best of both worlds. Because not only do they get to put him back at point guard, his more natural position, you get to take C.J. McCollum off of a point guard spot, which wasn't his natural spot, and get him back to playing more of that Portland role, the two-guard. Like, C.J. McCollum, I remember, used to run around the floor. Like, outside of Klay Thompson and Steph Curry, he'd have some of the most miles ran in the NBA. And that's hard to imagine, like, when you watch him playing with the Pelicans last couple of years. Like, he's pick and roll. The old C.J. McCollum, like Portland C.J. McCollum, defenders were chasing him all around the floor. So I think we get to see more of that now with DeJounte Murray being handed the keys. So I think that's where the fit makes sense. I'm still stuck on, they got to figure this Zion, Brandon Ingram thing out. And like, there is something to be said about the idea of addition by subtraction. And if a team is out there saying, hey, look, Brandon Ingram is a missing piece for us, I think the idea of adding Herb Jones to the starting lineup, because right now you're talking about taking one of the best defenders in the NBA out of the starting lineup to make this thing work. You throw Herb Jones in there in the starting lineup, and you take Brandon Ingram out, you still got scorers. DeJounte Murray, C.J. McCollum, Zion Williamson, all are capable of averaging at least 18 points a game. And you get Herb Jones as your stout wing defender. That makes the most sense in elevating that roster to me. So with the Brandon Ingram and Zion thing, it's whatever, but it's great talent, but it's not great fit where you have two guys. Brandon Ingram's not going to shoot a bunch of three-pointers, and Zion is one of the best paint scorers in the league. So you kind of got like a little, combustive situation there.
Yeah, I agree with you 100%. If it comes together, it could be really, really special. If not, it could definitely implode. DeMichael Cole joining us on the Sissy's Log Cabin guest line. I'll ask you what I asked Eli earlier. Right now, we sit here on August 14th. If you had to make a pick, a choice, these two questions. One, do the Grizzlies finish top 4 in the West, and do the Grizzlies win 50 games?
Man, I thought you were going to take it easy on me. I thought you were going to say top 6. so I could top 4. Right now, I'm going to say yes, because that's kind of where I have them in that range. The only thing to me that would prevent the Grizzlies from finishing top 4 in the West is the most obvious thing, and it's Ja Morant availability. If Ja Morant's on the floor 70 games, the Grizzlies are top 4 in the West, in my opinion. They have the depth. They have, the chemistry. They have the camaraderie. They have the defenders, whatever the case may be. I think that puts them top 4 in the West if Ja Morant's healthy from a talent standpoint. What was the other part of the question?
The other part is, do they win 50? So to be top 4, do you think they have to win 50?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I think so. I think you can make a case. There's probably going to be 5 teams in the West that are hovering around 50 to 56 wins, I think.
You talk about taking that big swing like the Caruso swing. If they're up there at the top of the Western Conference, top 3 or 4, around the trade deadline, do you think they could try and take that swing then?
They're positioned to do so, Eli. That was the big thing that stood out about the 1-year deal with Luke Kennard and just how the rest of the money currently works on this roster. They're positioned to do whatever they want at the deadline right now. And the reason is, when we talk about this luxury tax thing, the first apron and all of that stuff, I always remind people, the number right now is pretty irrelevant. The final number isn't set until the trade deadline, until after the trade deadline's complete. that's when we will know, oh, the Grizzlies were in the luxury tax this season. The Grizzlies were in the first apron. The Grizzlies were not in the first apron. So right now it appears that they're dodging that situation. But I think that's smart because, you fill this season out. And let's say, like you said, we get to the season, they're top 3, top 4 in the West, and it's just evident that, there's a potential big move out there. Like there are going to be some guys right now, clearly, in some places that may end up being good depth pieces. I mean, who knows what's going to happen? Like with San Antonio, Chris Paul missing some games early in the season. They signed him to a 1-year deal, and it's like, okay, look, let's just he signed a 1-year deal. Let's just trade him. And the Grizzlies, right now, like I keep talking about the fact if something happens to Ja, what's going to happen? Go get some point guard depth. I could see, that being a potential move, and I could see, Memphis saying, hey, we'll dip into the luxury tax in order to, kind of give ourselves a better chance. They have the financial flexibility to be able to do so. That's what this offseason did to them.
Can you go a little bit more into what would constitute the big swing? I mean, you mentioned Chris Paul. I mean, what else would be a big swing?
I mean, it would take injuries probably. I think, we'll see how Zach Edey shakes out, but I think that there's some potential moves at center. I think from the wing standpoint, you're pretty solidified with Dez and Marcus Smart and those guys, and Vince Williams potentially being like a trusted trio for you. There are some guys out there. I mean, what if an injury happens? Zach LaVine would make sense from the standpoint of Chicago's doing everything they can to get off of him in that contract. And, financially right now it doesn't make much sense for Memphis. But, again, if they're in a situation where you're looking at it and they are near the top of the Western Conference and they need to strike the match, that's a player that comes to mind. But I think it's more of the cost control players. I think you look to San Antonio, who has, like I said, a Chris Paul. I think you look at some of these guys this offseason who signed for cheap deals. I mean, who knows what happens in Phoenix? The whole, Tyus Jones being over there sounds good in theory to help their turnover problem. But Tyus Jones in the starting lineup with Devin Booker, Bradley Beal, you're dependent on Kevin Durant at 36 to be your best defender. What if they're just a terrible defensive team and they say, look, we got to get rid of Tyus Jones and bring in some defense? Well, that's when you say, Memphis has had interest in bringing back Tyus Jones. Do you consider bringing him back as your backup point guard? He's on that cheap 1-year deal, and maybe you give the Suns a better defensive piece, in that case scenario. So I could see something like that. But I think backup point guard is the one area where as much everyone knows I love Scottie Pippen Jr., but I love him as a backup right now. From the standpoint of if Ja Morant misses 2 weeks, can the Grizzlies survive? That is my biggest question this season, and I say that simply because you go back to last season. Everyone talks about the end of the season. Oh, the injuries this, the injuries that. I completely agree. I talk about it a lot too. But the first 25 games of the season cannot be lost upon us. That stretch at the beginning of the season where Marcus Smart was the point guard, Desmond Bane was the 2 guard, and Jaren was in the lineup as well. And a lot of people said, oh, the Grizzlies should go about 13-12, or they should go, at worst 12-13.
Right.
No,
yes.
They struggled. They were bad.
Right. They were bad. No, you're absolutely right. I think it makes some really good points. We remember what Dallas did last year at the trade deadline and how it turned them into a good team, into a team that won the Western Conference Championship. He is DeMichael Cole. Read all his great stories at the Commercial Appeal. Doing some golf work also this week for the FedEx St. Jude Championship. Follow him on Twitter at DeMichaelC. Catch him every Wednesday talking Grizzlies with us right here on Sports 56 Mornings. Thanks, DeMichael. We'll see you out here.
All right, take care, guys.
You too.
Fleet Feet, the place to go to get all your running gear. When you're out here at the FedEx St. Jude Championship, you're doing a lot of walking. You need some good shoes. You want to make sure you have shoes that are perfect to get you around and not have any issues, not make your feet comfortable, everything else. Fleet Feet does that. For running, for walking, whatever it is, you're just on your feet for a long time. They make sure you got shoes that are just right for you. You go see them at either one of their 2 locations. They'll fit you with those shoes that are perfect for you. You can go see them in the Laurelwood Shopping Center in East Memphis, out in Collierville, pop there in Houston Levy, next door to Huey's. They take a look at the way you run, the way you walk, and they get you fitted with those shoes. Plus everything else that you need gear-wise, they've got you taken care of. So go see the folks at Fleet Feet. Also, you can find them online at fleetfeetmemphis.com or on social media, where they'll keep you up to date with things that are going on in the running community, things they're doing, the things that you can get involved with the runners here in Memphis and the folks at Fleet Feet.
We've talked a lot about the volunteers. We will continue to talk about the volunteers. We have for years. They are so pivotal to this golf tournament. There's over 1,600 of them. And, of course, we've talked about what it means with Blue Cross Blue Shield of Tennessee supporting all these volunteers, providing food, providing water, doing everything they need for these volunteers. One of them was the 2022 Blue Cross Blue Shield Volunteer Rookie of the Year, and she joins us next. This is Sports 56 Mornings with Greg and Eli on Real Sports Talk, Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
Add a little fun to your lunch break. Join Johnny Radio for Sports 56 Happy Hour from 11 to 1 every weekday on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
Jason's Deli. When you're dining in or picking up curbside, you can expect wholesome food and no surprises. Just delicious sandwiches, crisp salads, and clean quality meals made with the freshest ingredients and no artificial trans fats, MSG, high fructose corn syrup, or artificial colors and dyes. Around here, a lot of thought goes into what we put into our food and what we take out of it. Because you're not just taking a bite, you're getting a taste of who we are. New items are constantly being created to expand our menu for all tastes and special diets, vegan and gluten-free options available, convenience, and on-time delivery you can count on. It's just a click away at jasonsdeli.com. So whether you need to feed 5 people or 5,000, the team at Jason's Deli, they have the credentials and the commitment to keep you satisfied. Freshness is nearby at Jason's Deli locations at Ridgeway and Park Place Center, Poplar Highland, Germantown Road in Cordova, and Goodman Road in Highland Ranch. Jason's Deli is wholesome food and no surprises.
I'm Gary York. I'm the service director at Lexus in Memphis. Our service department wants to be more than just a place where you get your oil changed. We do glass repair, windshield replacement, recalibration of your camera and sonar systems, even wheel repair, tire replacement, all the things you would expect from a luxury automotive dealer. Please check out our website. You can schedule your appointment, check out our specials, hours of operation, or if you'd like to do it in person, please reach out to one of our associates at 901-271-5199.
Genesis Diamond's most extreme value on diamonds is coming to an end. You have until Sunday at 5 p.m. to get the price of a lifetime on a certified gem and diamond ring.
This month has been incredible. People have driven for hours to buy like a dealer buys. All GIA certified diamond rings are on sale. A full 20% discount off Genesis' amazing everyday value price.
Talking values you never thought possible. 1/2 carat to 20 carat diamonds, all complex and brilliance, and all with prestigious jewelry.
Don't be surprised to see jewelry stores and diamond dealers shopping alongside you.
Genesis has the largest jewelry diamond selection you've ever seen. Special cuts, pear-shaped, emerald cuts.
Get in on all the UFC 305 action live from the land down under at DraftKings Sportsbook, the official sports betting partner of UFC. If you're new to DraftKings, listen up. New customers bet $5, that's it, to get $150 in bonus bets instantly. Just download the DraftKings Sportsbook app. Code is HERD, that's me, H-E-R-D. New customers will get $150 in bonus bets for betting just $5, that's it, only on DraftKings. The crown is yours.
Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. In New York, call 877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY 467-369. In Connecticut, help is available for problem gambling. Call 888-789-7777 or visit ccpg.org. Please play responsibly. On behalf of Boot Hill Casino and Resort in Kansas, 21 plus age varies by jurisdiction, void in Ontario. Bonus bets expire 168 hours after issuance. Deposit and eligibility restrictions apply. See terms, eligibility, and responsible gaming resources at dkng.co/MMA.
Memphis. The playoffs are back. Come see the PGA Tour's best compete for the trophy, the FedEx St. Jude Championship, August 14th through 18th. Witness the drama as 70 players arrive in Memphis and only 50 move on. Tickets are on sale now at FedExChampionship.com.
Now back to Sports 56 Mornings on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM. This hour brought to you by Jenkins Floors and More. Here once again are Greg Gaston and Eli Savoy.
I think everybody by now knows the importance of the Volunteers with this event, the FedEx St. Jude Championship. We're broadcasting live from TPC Southwind. We're in the hub, which is just off the 18th fairway here at TPC Southwind. Greg Gaston, Eli Savoy, Zach Boyd producing the program back in the Family Leisure Studios. And Blue Cross Blue Shield of Tennessee, one of our great sponsors, they're the ones that supply everything for these volunteers. They support the volunteers. They stand alongside these volunteers. There's over 1,600 of these volunteers. Without them, I don't know how they run this tournament. And one of them is Jimmy Monix Mitchell, who's joining us now. She is part of the committee for the shuttle, the players that are shuttled from the 9th green to the 10th tee. You started in 2022, correct? How did you get hoodwinked into doing this? How did you get involved in this?
So actually, I am employed with Smith & Nephew, and we had a call out for additional volunteers. So I raised my hand and said, "Hey, I'm kind of new to the game. I'm interested in all things golf right now." So I'll be glad to help. And I dragged my husband along as well. But just thinking about knowing that Blue Cross Blue Shield was involved, that it was supporting St. Jude, I was all in.
How do you get the kind of place, like you're on that transportation or the shuttle committee or with that group? Like, how do they get placed? They see you drive a golf cart and say, she's talented with a golf cart. Like, how does that happen?
Actually, my first year, I was on hole 1.
Okay.
So I was in charge of hushing the crowd and making sure no one bum rushed any of the players. So that was like herding cats. It was a lot. It was a lot. But after I won Rookie of the Year that year, I was able to make my selection on where I wanted to go. And so I opted for player shuttle, because why stand on the ground for 5 hours when I could drive?
When you can drive. All right, so you brought it up. Explain this. How do you, first of all, congratulations. How do you win Rookie of the Year? Are you nominated by someone? Is it voted upon by your fellow 1,600 volunteers? How did you win the thing?
So yes, there's a nomination process, and I'm just clueless and oblivious. I've been with you guys for 5 minutes now, and you see from the beginning, I never meet a stranger. So that was just my attitude walking in to my first year volunteering. I greet everyone with a smile and try to do my best. Where you need me, that's where I am. And again, thankful to Blue Cross Blue Shield for having the volunteer tent. If anybody needed water, snacks, I'm running. I'm going. Whatever you need, I got it. And that was just my attitude that first year. And I also recruited additional volunteers. So with all of those things in mind, my name came up. Again, I'm just clueless, and I get an email saying, "Hey, Jimmy, will you show up to this event?" Which was after the tournament was over. It was kind of like a reception. I thought I was going to a reception. And when they called my name for Rookie of the Year, I'm just like,
That's great.
What comes with Rookie of the Year? What do you read?
I received a financial compensation.
There you go. That's always good.
A financial donation, I'll say that. A donation. And then I got this freaking amazing Nike gift pack. My husband was so jealous because I got shoes and gear, and I got backpacks. So like it was great. Oh, I also got flowers. I got flowers too. I don't know what would have happened had a male won, but I got flowers.
Do you rub it in because you brought your husband along to volunteer? You start the same time. You get Rookie of the Year. Do you rub it in every day?
So
you can?
I rub it in every single solitary day because while I was caring for others, he was caring for me. So I'm getting water for everybody else, and he's getting water for me. And he's like, "What about me?" And I'm like, having my Susan Lucci moment. They love me. They really love me.
What do you like about being part of the shuttles and taking the players and doing that part of it?
So it's a brief interaction, but you do get to interact with the players if they are in a great mood. If they had a good ninth hole, then
Correct.
they might be a little chatty. And it's Memphis. It's August. It's hot.
Mm-hmm.
So for those 5 minutes while we're driving the cart, I get some air, man. I get air blowing on me. But again, get to interact and just maybe have a few kind words. Get to encourage the players. And not only the players, but their caddies, because it could be up to 5 people on the cart. And I am a caregiver, so I understand caring for the caregiver. So that in turn goes to showing a little love to those who also assist the golfers.
Has everything gone smoothly since you've been doing that? And again, the first year you didn't do that with the shuttles. Have there ever been any kind of a mishap or anything?
So not a mishap, but last year it was my husband's dream to drive McElroy.
Okay.
And everybody knew, and we knew he was up. Everybody knew. I was just sitting in my cart. I was just sitting there minding my business.
Minding your own business.
That's what I do. I mind my business. I was just minding my business, and all of a sudden, I feel people getting in my cart. Okay, guys, you ready to go? You know, I didn't even turn around. I didn't know who it was. But, you know, they have their signs.
Right.
So eventually, I kind of turned around. And I saw the name, and I was like, oh, my husband's going to kill me. And as I'm driving off, I see my husband just looking at me with laser-focused eyes, like if he could harm me, he would in that moment. And I was like, I didn't do it, babe. I was just minding my business.
He's like, you take Rookie of the Year, now you're taking Rory. He's like, what else are you taking from me?
Shout out to Derek Mitchell for loving me in spite of.
So you have taken up the game of golf as well yourself?
Yes.
How is that going? Are there any mishaps there?
It depends on who's in my line. I can hit long or I can hit straight, but I cannot do both. Pick your poison. Do you want me to get you to the green? Gotcha. But then we're done. I can't get it in the hole.
Jimmy, is it safe to say before you decided to volunteer, you couldn't care less about golf? You didn't know golf? Or was it something, did you dabble in it as far as watching it? Or was it just a sport that you didn't care much about?
So really watching on television, it doesn't excite me at all. And this was something that I started to just minorly dabble in because my husband does play.
Right.
And when this volunteer opportunity came up, I was like, okay, this might spark my interest a little bit more and get me more involved. But being here in person, I'm like, oh my God, wait, did you see that? Did you see he threw that club? Oh my God.
Right.
So it's just awesome to be in person. And again, I love a good cause. Blue Cross Blue Shield shows out for the volunteers. So I will continue to show up year after year for as long as they'll have me.
And you came with the rain boots today. You're prepared. That's part of and you got the jacket.
The matching jacket.
Part of a good volunteer comes prepared for the weather.
You know, so when I got off the bus, a young lady said, oh, you're coordinated with your red boots and your red jacket. And another young lady said, she is a Delta. I said, oh, yes, I represented my sorority at every turn. Delta Sigma Theta Sorority Incorporated.
So, Jimmy, before we let you go, for the listening audience out there, especially if there's women listening, which we have some listeners that are women, we certainly have African-American listeners out there. We've seen for years and years and years the contingent mostly white male. Then we started to see a lot more white females. Now we're starting to see a lot more African-Americans. It is a game that is now beloved by everybody. What would be your words to tell people about your experience and how you would love to see them come out and volunteer, because this tournament doesn't happen without you and the volunteers?
Diversity is everywhere. If you just stop and open your eyes, and then also never be closed-minded to something that you do not know anything about. Again, I never would have thought, but now I love it. I love everything about it. So I say, remain open-minded, remain optimistic, try new things, challenge yourself, and absolutely come out, take up the sport. Hey, who knows? You could be the next Tigerette.
You could be the next Rookie of the Year for the Volunteers.
Because I can't be Rookie of the Year again, I'll defer that. But, I might have my eyes set on just general Volunteer of the Year.
Now you're trying to be MVP.
Yes.
You won Rookie of the Year, now you're trying to be MVP.
Award, right?
I said the Olympics had Snoop. Why can't the golf tournament have Jimmy? I can do this. I can do this. Put me in the game, Coach. I can commentate for you. Just right here with you.
Well, your personality is infectious, and look, there's a lot of great volunteers out here. Smiles on their faces, doing a great job, a yeoman's job. And we thank you. We can't thank you enough. I'm glad you found and discovered this tournament, and we really appreciate what you do. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you guys for being out here as well.
That is Jimmy Monix Mitchell, one of the great volunteers here at the FedEx St. Jude Championship. I do want to tell you about one of our great sponsors, and that is All-Star Chevrolet of Olive Branch. Together, let's drive what we really want to drive in, a beautiful All-Star Chevy. So pick out 2 or 3, test drive them today. If you can't find it out there, you can't find it anywhere. I'm looking at 20 or 30 new Silverados. These are marked down as much as 12%, going to save you thousands. Every Tahoe you can want for road trips and tailgating. Law enforcement, all first responders, healthcare, teachers, military, college students, and grads get an extra $500 bonus if you're looking for a pre-owned. They have all the trucks, including the Ram trucks and the Silverados, the Broncos, the 4Runners, the Audis and Hyundai Palisades. So much to choose from. Best week to get the most money on any vehicle. If you want to sell, bring it to All-Star Chevy in Olive Branch. Get a big check today. Don't miss All-Star Chevy's end of summer sale going on right now in Olive Branch at All-Star Chevrolet. And check them out online at allstarautogroup.com. When we come back, Jason Sobel will join us, the host of SiriusXM PGA Tour Radio. This is Sports 56 Mornings with Greg and Eli on Real Sports Talk, Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
Located corner of Park and Cherry is a beautiful residential neighborhood. I'm here at Town Village Audubon Park interviewing a new resident, Carolyn. Share with us why you chose Town Village.
Well, if your parents or special friends need to make that big move, let me share with you my experience. It was tough for me to leave home, but then I discovered Town Village. I would like to highly recommend Town Village to you and your loved ones. After looking at all the amenities and meeting all the people and staff, I was hooked. From restaurant, bistro, 3 meals per day, housekeeping, transportation, security, health care, physical therapy, exercise room, and even a heated pool and spa. Come see us and make your new home at Town Village.
Visit us and call Daniel at Town Village Audubon Park at 901-374-7342. There's no place like home, Town Village.
You know, it only takes one bad decision to change your life. And writing after drinking can be one of those. It can lead to impaired reflexes, poor judgment, and then disaster. Think about it. Even one drink affects your ability to ride. Alcohol can limit your reaction time and give you a false sense of confidence. You think it'll never happen to you, but it can. So, if you hit the bottle, don't roll the throttle. Brought to you by NHTSA.
Price does not include licensing costs, registration fees, taxes, and dealer dock fee of $899.50, which are to be paid by the consumer. Silverado RG 377,592, MSRP $61,065, dealer discount $42.74, factory rebate $47.50, trade assistance $1,000, must trade in 2010 or newer vehicle, track stock number RC 246,913, MSRP $23,395, dealer discount $14.03, expires 9/3/24.
Hi, this is Troy Fiveash, owner of Fiveash Roofing. In these uncertain economic times, there are so many things as a contractor and a business owner that I cannot control. The rising cost of materials, not to mention fuel and transportation costs. In the last 2 years, shingle prices have almost doubled, and commercial materials have doubled. And I don't have to tell you what fuel costs these days. But you know what I can control? How much markup I put on a project. I have always prided myself in knowing I never gouge a customer. But in an effort to ensure my crews have work and my customers are being treated fairly, I have lowered my profit margin, hoping to give you a price you can live with and keeping my crews busy. So if you need a roof or gutters, please give us a call. Fiveash Roofing, fair, honest, and ethical. Fiveash Roofing, a proud sponsor of Tiger Athletics and a member of the Tigers home team. 367-0050 or MemphisRoofer.com. 367-0050 or MemphisRoofer.com.
Drive like a pro and support a great cause during the sales drive at Landers Ford in Collierville, Landers Ford South in South Haven, and Landers Ford North in Covington. We've provided over 100 new Fords to be driven by the pros at the FedEx St. Jude Championship. Now they're all being sold with demo prices. That's right. Over 100 new Fords driven by the pros are being sold with demo pricing below market value. A portion of the proceeds go directly to the St. Jude's Children's Research Hospital. This is a once-a-year opportunity to trade up and drive like a pro while supporting a great cause. Visit LandersMemphis.com. That's LandersMemphis.com. Or come see us at Landers Ford in Collierville, Landers Ford South in South Haven, or Landers Ford North in Covington. With our Landers Easy Pass, you can get top dollar for your trade-in to help you save even more. Don't miss your chance. Reserve your demo-priced new Ford driven by a pro at the FedEx St. Jude Championship and lock in low APR financing. Remember, if it doesn't say Landers, you paid too much.
Now back to Sports 56 mornings on Sports 56 and 95 FM. This hour brought to you by Jenkins Floors and More. And once again, Mark Gaskin and Eli Support.
Welcome back, everybody. Final segment here on this Wednesday, August 14th, 2024, broadcasting live from TPC Southwind. We're inside the hub, just off the 18th fairway. Today, Pro-Am Day. Tomorrow, round one of the FedEx St. Jude Championship. And our final guest of the day is a guy that I think you know very well if you're a golf fan, and that's Jason Sobel, who you can follow on Twitter at Jason Sobel Golf, the host of Sirius XM PGA Tour Radio. And Jason joins us now on Sports 56 Mornings. Good morning, Jason. How are you?
I'm doing well. Good morning, guys. I have not made my way down to the course yet because I woke up to an email in the inbox about potential evac procedures from the golf course. That doesn't seem great for today.
Yeah, that's never the way you want to start your morning. I got that early this morning, too. It's never the way you want to start the morning for the golf tournament. So far, it's been some little light rain, nothing to worry about. But, yes, there are some stuff heading this direction that could cause some problems. But hopefully we can get through the day without any problems, and hopefully the next 4 days certainly with no problems. Have you had your first Gus's chicken yet of the trip?
I have not.
What?
Last year was 4 days in a row. I brought 4 different media colleagues on 4 different nights to Gus's Fried Chicken, which they should be sponsoring me at this point when I come to Memphis. And look, I don't want to leave out Rendezvous. Rendezvous does a great job, too. So, look, I am not biased towards any. It's great food here in Memphis. Having a great time. We crossed state borders into Arkansas to play some cards last night. I love it here.
Yeah, food is not an issue here in Memphis. The heat usually is, and it will heat up later this week. I read your tweet about that, but it's interesting, Jason. Last week we had this weather sent from God. I don't know where it came from. And unfortunately, with the Olympics this year, This tournament, as you know, would have been last week. We would have had the most beautiful weather where you wouldn't even have felt like it was in Memphis. You would have thought it was Colorado, the second round of the FedEx Cup playoffs. But unfortunately, it's the heat, and these golfers know what they're getting into here in Memphis.
Yeah, Mother Nature tends to follow the tour for whatever reason. I hear that a lot. Cover the tour over the years. It's like, man, you guys should have been here last week. It was great. And then all of a sudden you get to a place that's thunderstorms or it's too hot or it's too cold or whatever it might be. So it happens more often than not, just sort of bad luck on the tour. And we've had a lot of it this year. I do believe still, and this is relevant because the PGA Tour schedule for 2025 was released today with very few changes, just some minor changes, most of which were already announced. But still, and maybe someday there are full-scale changes, and this gets altered. But right now, the California swing is pretty wet out there. It's a pretty nasty time of the year, early in the year in California. Then we go to Florida, and we get some of the rainy season in Florida. And sometimes you make your own luck, and I think the PGA Tour does that sometimes with the weather. But we've had some bad luck this year as well.
Well, you are a brand ambassador for BetMGM. You love to look at the plays for the week. I was asked actually yesterday, first thing I got out here, I get on the media shuttle bus, and the bus driver says to me, well, I can't bet on Scheffler because he doesn't pay enough money, so who should I bet on? So I'm going to ask you, who's some of the guys? It's pretty much anybody else in the field you can make some pretty good money on, but who do you like this week as guys who you can make a little money on?
I love that we've gone in the last couple of years with legalized sports gaming from people saying, I don't really bet on golf, to walking onto a shuttle bus, driver's like, yeah, well, Scheffler's too short. I'm looking for a longer number that I can hit this week. Any top 5s, top 10s. I think we're progressing in the right direction as far as getting people educated about what they're putting their money on and investing in on a weekly basis. Look, I go a little bit further down the board, and I will say this much about Scottie Scheffler. He's taken a lot of the fun out of outright golf bets. And what I mean by that is it's such a short number. He's right about 3.5 or 4-1 this week. You don't really want to bet Scottie Scheffler, but you don't really want to bet against him either because he usually wins the golf tournament. So it's a conundrum in that, it just sort of takes the fun out of it a little bit. I am going to bypass Scottie and Xander Schauffele and Rory McIlroy, the top 3 on the board. I'm looking first at Patrick Cantlay, who's trading at about 25-1 right now. That's a really good number for a guy who's played some very good golf this year. Had a little bit of a back, I don't want to call it injury, but a back tweak about a month and a half ago. Looks like he's doing fine now. Of course, lost in the playoff last year. Very surprising. Hit one into the water on 18 on the first extra hole and lost to Lucas Glover. That's very un-Patrick Cantlay-like. But this is a guy, I always look for players that have played well throughout the year and haven't quite peaked going into the FedEx Cup playoffs and have played well enough to win. Patrick Cantlay kind of checks all those boxes. So he's the guy that I like. I also like Sungjae Im, who's right around 35 or 40-1. Sam Burns at about 50-1. And Sepp Straka, who lost the playoff here 2 years ago, he's going out about 66-1 right now.
Jason, how about a guy like Will Zalatoris, who's had success on this course, has won, but he's battled injuries and is coming back? Is he healthy enough to be in the mix?
According to the reports last week at the Wyndham Championship, and look, he didn't play great. He certainly wasn't on the leaderboard towards the end of things on Sunday, but he felt like he was healthier. The swing speed was back. He felt more comfortable. So I don't know that he's as far away from playing good golf as it might seem if you just look at his results right now. But again, at this level, playing pretty good golf and being comfortable isn't good enough. You've got to feel 100% to go out there and, again, not just make pars and birdies, but go out there and beat Scottie Scheffler and Xander Schauffele. You've got to be firing on all cylinders. I'm not sure that Will Zalatoris is quite there yet, but if he stays healthy, look, this kid's going to be a star. He's going to be a star for a long time, but I think that it's definitely something to watch. Whenever a young player has a back injury, that's something that can linger. We've seen other injuries. John Rahm's a great example. He missed the U.S. Open this year because he had a cut between 2 of his toes, and he couldn't really walk. Well, I'm not too worried about the long-term effect of that cut between his toes for John Rahm because it's going to heal up. He's going to be fine. But for a back injury, these things can linger. I mentioned it when it comes to Patrick Cantlay, and he had a little flare-up a couple of months ago, and with Will Zalatoris, that's always going to be at least a concern, both for him and for those who are investing their money on him.
If you do, for people out there, you won't get the kind of return, obviously, if you're betting somebody to win it like some of the guys you're talking about. But if you do say, like, I think Scotty Scheffler's going to win, but you can say, hey, what are some top 5, maybe top 10 bets that you like where people can make a little bit money if those people, even if Scheffler wins it, they can still win that bet?
Yeah, absolutely. And look, that's a great way to counteract the Scotty Scheffler conundrum. That's a great way to say, I don't want to bet on Scheffler. I don't want to bet against Scheffler. What do I do? All right, let's go deeper and look at the finishing position bets. A guy like Taylor Moore, who played decent last week. He was 5th place here a year ago. That's a pretty big number next to his name for a top 10, even top 20 plays. I actually really like top 20 plays in these shorter fields. There's 70 players this week. You don't have to play your best golf. You have to be inside the top 29% this week in order to cash top 20 tickets, and you can still get pretty good players. I mean, I was on the Golf Bet show yesterday with my friends Will Gray and Ben Everell, and I picked Sam Burns as a top 20 play. It's not sexy. It's probably not going to get you rich, but it's plus 140. It's a plus money play, essentially for those who don't bet. That's going to return more than you risk. And so for that number to be inside the top 20 in a 70-man field, again, I think the reward is pretty nice for the risk that you're putting out there.
Jason, how about somebody really deep in the point standings, guys that are between 50 and 70 that are trying to get to Colorado and punch their ticket there and need a real good showing? Is there anybody that you think could be in the mix, maybe at least for a top 10?
Well, I'll at least say this much, because I think it's fascinating the fact that we don't have a defending champion here this week. Lucas Glover did not qualify for this tournament, was not in the top 70. Victor Hovland needs to do something really special this week. He's at 57th on the points list. He needs to get inside the top 50. I don't know exactly what that means. There are a whole lot of variables. Depends on where other players finish. But he needs a pretty good result to get into the BMW Championship, which he won last year, and, of course, won the FedEx Cup. We're looking at the potential of not having any defending champions in the 3 FedEx Cup playoff events, which would be just very strange. That's certainly never happened in the past. I can't remember, at least. I don't recall that happening. So that would be weird. Jordan Spieth at 63rd. Look, I think Jordan's kind of resigned to the fact that he's going to need some sort of procedure or surgery on his wrist at the end of his season. That season could be over on Sunday if he doesn't turn things around, hasn't finished inside the top 10 since before the Masters. So those are some big names that need a big week. I wouldn't be surprised if Adam Scott, just inside the top 50 right now, he's been playing some really nice golf, played well overseas at the Scottish and the Open Championship. I could see Adam Scott having a really nice week this week.
One of my favorite things to do every week is that you can get big returns. Now it is an ultimate kind of blind swing, is first round leader, because you can get Scotty Scheffler at plus 1,100. That's one where you can get Scotty Scheffler with good odds. Is there anybody you like? Again, it's such a wild blind swing kind of with these first round leaders, but anybody you like as a first round leader possibility?
All right, I'll preface this by saying I don't think I've hit a first-round leader bet all year, so I love it too. It's fun. Look, you can essentially turn a profit before Thursday sundown happens, and you're like, all right, well, whatever happens the rest of the week is gravy. That said, it's really tough to cash these bets. I'm going to look at Alex Noren. Alex Noren's scoring average in round 1 this season ranks 4th on the PGA Tour. It's more than a stroke better than his baseline scoring average throughout the entire season. So he's a guy that should fit this golf course, keeps it in play off the tee, a good ball striker. If the putter gets hot, he's a guy that could go low. It's probably going to take, I would have thought something around 65 is not what we're looking at, but with the weather coming down now and maybe things are a little bit softer tomorrow, it could be even a 62, 63, I think.
He is Jason Sobel, host of SiriusXM PGA Tour Radio. You can follow him on Twitter at Jason Sobel Golf. Enjoy some Gus's, Jason. Enjoy Memphis. And thank you so much for joining us.
Thanks, guys. Thanks to everyone here for the hospitality. Love this week, and I can't wait to watch some golf here.
Absolutely. Right. Thank you, Jason. Good luck with all your bets out there.
I'm 1 for the season on my first-round leader bets. I hit
Which ones you hit?
1 week. I hit Akshay Bhatia 1 week. Well, I can't remember what week it was. He was like plus 4,000, something like that.
Good for you.
I put like $3 and $4 bets on him. I picked like 4 guys that put like $2, $3, $4 bets on him and just see what happens. It's fun because it gives you it's a different way to watch round one. Like a guy gets off to a good start, or
right?
Because he had to birdie the last 2 holes to do it, and he did. Like, and it was like he birdied 17, birdied 18 to get there. Like, hey, how about that? I finally hit one of these things.
That is impressive.
It's a fun way to bet. Again, I just put a few dollars here or there, but you can get. Again, Scotty Scheffler's plus 1,100. So, like, if you think, well, Scotty Scheffler is just the best golfer and he's probably going to lead after every round, you can get him at plus 1,100 to be the first round leader.
Thanks again to all our great sponsors. Our title sponsor, Landers Ford. Our scoreboard sponsor is Sissy's Log Cabin. First National Bank, Jason's Deli. Wade Incorporated, your North Mississippi John Deere dealer. Ronnie Grazzani's Town Village Audubon Park. Banyan Tree Realtors. Wilson's Power Wash. DeSoto Honda. Jim's Place, Blue Cross Blue Shield of Tennessee, Memphis Tourism, and the Memphis Sports Council. That'll do it for us. Dave Woloshin is coming up next from live here at TPC Southwind. We want to thank Jason Sobel, Steve Sands, DeMichael Cole, and Jimmy Monix Mitchell for joining us. We're back tomorrow bright and early, starting at 7 a.m. Among our guests, Kerry Miller to talk some Major League Baseball and the season debut of the AutoZone Liberty Bowl Inside College Football Hour with Harold Grader. I want to thank Zach Boyd back in the Family Leisure Studios. For Eli and Zach, I'm Greg. Have a great day, everybody.